Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. To get ourselves a treat.
Hey!
Hello! What's up?
We're back.
We are back.
We're back. It's good to be back.
If you didn't notice, we did not do one last week.
I was in Arizona.
How was your trip?
It was good. It was real good. Real hot. First day I was there was 111 degrees.
Fuck that.
Yeah, dude. It was crazy. And it's funny because when you mention that to people, I'm like, man, Arizona's so hot. 111 degrees. They're always like, yeah, but there's no humidity. And I'm like...
Yeah, I was going to say dry heat. Isn't that better?
It is dry heat. It is better. But at the same time, it's like... There's no humidity in an oven either. So it's like, it's hot. It is hot, dude.
Holy shit.
You know what's crazy is my grandparents are telling me, like, to always bring a water bottle with you. Because dehydration, like, is a real problem there. Like, people just get dehydrated instantly almost. And they just, like, pass out.
Yeah, you didn't feel that way ever?
No, because I always had water with me. I went to the bathroom more times on that trip than I think I have in the last, 2 years. Because I was drinking so much water.
Well, you told me that you stayed inside most of the time.
Yes, because it was so hot, dude. I was out. I went to the pool twice. 2 or 3 times, actually. And I only stayed there 30 minutes, and I got sunburned, bad.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was crazy. Not bad sunburn, but I definitely got that red.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dude. So it was a fun trip, though, dude. Arizona is so friggin' cool. So clean. So nice. So sunny.
Yeah.
Dude, I went to this flea market, right? One of the biggest flea markets I've ever been to. It was almost like a mall. It was so sick. It was indoors. And, dude, their movie memorabilia was... Ooh, I was so upset I couldn't fit any of it in my suitcase.
Okay,
I was so upset. I was like, come on.
No, what was the coolest thing you saw?
Oh, man. Their poster collection was insane, dude. They had everything from modern movies, like... Oh, I was going to say Ghostbusters. That's not really a modern movie, but you get my point. They had everything from, Star Wars, the newer Star Wars films, to The Outlaw, starring Jane Mansfield.
Okay.
To freaking exploitation grindhouse films, to, Bram Stoker's Dracula with Bela Lugosi. They had Modern Times. They had a Modern Times poster with, the original... obviously, it's not vintage. It's reprinted, but it's the original Modern Times poster from Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah.
And the coolest one I saw was... You ever heard of it's a B movie called Attack of the 50-Foot Woman?
Yeah.
And it's the poster's... The poster's more famous than the movie. The poster's a 50-foot woman, over a bridge or whatever.
Yeah.
They were selling a poster of that. It was on a canvas, so it wasn't really a poster, but it was from that end to the wall to that end to the wall. They're up.
That's dang.
It was huge, and it was $300. And I'm like, dude, if I was shitting money and I was decorating my own place, that would be the centerpiece. I would put that over the fireplace.
That's an actual wall.
It is a wall. It was huge, dude.
Living up to its name.
They had a signed poster of Land of the Dead, signed by George A. Romero. And I couldn't take it home because it was huge. It was huge. It was that big. And I can't fit that in my suitcase.
Yeah, without damaging it.
Exactly.
And then it's worthless.
Yeah, exactly. So I was upset. I was upset. But it was so cool to see regardless.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I would never expect to see something like that in just a random Arizona flea market.
Yeah. Yeah. There was so much more, dude. They had a ton of comic books. They had a couple comic books, Golden Age comic books that were in the hundreds of dollars. Mm-hmm. They had a Batman comic, it was $100. Really old comics. Obviously, they had the cheap comics that were for 10 cents, but then they had the ones in the cases that were ooh.
Ooh.
You're ooh. I want those.
So we got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Dude, yeah, it's after 2 weeks of accumulation.
We're catching up.
I don't even know what I'm going to clip. There's too much to clip. I don't even... Let's just get into it, shall we?
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself, San Diego.
I do the cha-cha like a sissy girl.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
News might just be something I love.
Back to you, fuckers!
Did you hear that Avatar is still the number one movie?
I keep looking at it. I just looked it up yesterday.
Yeah?
I'm like, come on!
I heard it's only 23 million.
Yep. Yep, that's what it looks like.
But the theatrical run of Endgame is done though now, so it didn't beat it. Can you believe it?
I mean, wait, it was still on like you know how Rotten Tomatoes has like a thing where it's like,
is it still on?
Week. I also saw it at I just went to the movies yesterday.
Is it still there?
I saw it there.
Son of a bitch. Maybe there's still hope.
I don't know though. It's like if the re-release didn't do anything.
The re-release. See, that's the problem though. The re-release wasn't good enough. Because
I don't even know if anybody heard about it.
Yeah, they didn't market it very well, and then what they did was there was only like one deleted scene that they showed.
Yeah, the
Hulk one, and then that was it. And that's not good enough for a re-release.
It's not. At
That's
all.
not good enough for people to go in there and like go and rewatch it. You know.
Unless you've only seen it once and you wanted to see it again.
That's right.
Why not?
I did see it a third time with Mitch and David just because we wanted it to beat Avatar, so we were like, let's go for it. But
you did, huh?
Yeah, we did. That was the day before I left.
Okay.
And it was great.
That was the with the deleted scene or whatever.
No, it was just because I left before the re-release.
Gotcha.
So, but I just really wanted it to beat Avatar, and oh man, doesn't look like we did, but hopefully we can still. I don't know.
You know what? I don't even know, man.
It's crazy. What else is gonna do it? I mean, nothing can do it now.
You don't think anything can do it?
I don't think anything can beat it now.
Not until they get like upcharges on ticket prices. Like let's say like new technology comes in.
That's true.
Wait for like the first like VR
holographic VR movie.
Yeah, wait for something like that, and then it's gonna beat it out.
Yeah, that's kind of what Avatar did. Like the new 3D and CGI technology. That's basically what carried that film.
Yeah, it was like a $20 ticket.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't see it.
That's crazy. So, hopefully it beats it, and we'll see.
Yeah.
But did you hear that Nicholas Winding Refn, your boy, he wants to do Batgirl?
I did not hear about that.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. It is not gonna. There's no way he's gonna make a movie that's attached to like a DC universe.
Yeah. Well, he wanted to do Wonder Woman, but this is when they cast Gal Gadot already, and he came on the project. He wasn't attached, but they talked to him, and he wanted to cast Christina Hendricks as.
Yeah, she's been in movies with him and stuff.
Yeah, and they were like, we already casted Gal Gadot. She was in Batman vs Superman. He's like, but I want Christina Hendricks.
That doesn't even work. I don't even see that working.
Yeah, and then he's like, and then they're like, no, and apparently he wouldn't budge on it. So then he just left. And but now he said he set his sights on Batgirl now. Batgirl. He wants.
So is Christina Hendricks gonna play Batgirl now?
Probably, I guess.
He won't budge on it.
I don't know. Maybe we'll have to see. I do like Christina Hendricks.
I do too.
Yeah. She's got nice acting abilities.
Yeah. I mean, Mad Men's one of my favorite shows.
Oh yeah.
So there you go.
Oh yeah. You know she was Gabby in Toy Story 4.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I stayed for that for the credits just to see who was in it because I was like, man, I heard so many voices I couldn't even think about it.
I did see Toy Story 4 a second time, by the way.
Did you?
I did, and we actually stayed after the credits. Well, it was funny because the first time, remember I told you it was like the terrible movie experience.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get out of there, so we left before any of the mid-credit scenes. I knew there were some. We saw the one where like they rescued the toys from the carnival or whatever, the frogs, and I'm like, okay, that's good enough, let's go. So we just left. Then I saw it a second time, no kids in the theater. It was beautiful. Saw it with David and Mitch, and I got to see all those mid-credit scenes and the post-credit scene, kind of. It's sort of a post-credit scene. Did you see it or no?
I think so.
It's the Pixar logo, and then Duke Kaboom comes up and like smashes the eye, and then that little G.I. Joe figure who couldn't get the high five runs in and high fives Duke Kaboom.
That's sick.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Yeah.
Man, I wish I would have saw that.
Yeah, it was funny. So he finally got his high five.
Yeah, that's cute, dude.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, can you see Nicholas Winding Refn doing a superhero movie?
Nah,
especially
really.
A female-led superhero
movie? It would be different. I'll be honest. Maybe that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Because I just saw a movie yesterday, and I kept seeing a bunch of trailers for like there's this TV show coming out where like It's an Amazon original with Carl Urban. You know which one I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, I
they're
heard.
like
villains
or whatever. They're like corrupt.
Yeah.
It's like there's all these like spins on like superhero movies, and then there's this like the Alfred and Bruce Wayne's father, Thomas Wayne. They're just like team up and do stuff, which is like I don't know. There's just so much superhero stuff right now.
Yeah,
so.
it's pretty crazy. It is pretty crazy. And but I mean, you see, here's the thing. It probably wouldn't work, but there's a part of me that just wants to see it, just out of just morbid curiosity. Yeah, I'm just like, gosh, I would love to see that, just out of curiosity. It probably would suck, but I'm like, tell me you wouldn't want to see
honestly,
a Batgirl movie by Nicholas Winding Refn.
I love that man so much. Like, I'd probably like it, even if it was bad.
He'd probably try and make it like some weird, like, fetishistic, like, Batman comes in and, like, has sex with Batgirl and, like...
Can't wait.
It's some weird shit. Even though the Killing Joke animated movie kind of did that first.
Oh yeah, that's
that
true.
was so weird.
So I've heard. I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it either, but I saw that scene and I'm like, this is weird. This is weird, homie. That's not okay.
Yeah, but they have the tendency to do that when they have, like, what is it, like, alternative universe, like, comics and stuff like that.
That's true. Plus, DC is kind of going toward a not connected kind of thing anymore, it seems like.
So they can do whatever they want.
So they can do whatever they want. So why not do a Nicholas Winding Refn Batgirl movie?
That would attract more people, like, weirder people.
Yeah, it would attract these film snobs, that's for sure. And just cinephiles like us. That'd be so weird. But it'd be crazy. And I would love to see... Tell me you wouldn't love to see Christina Hendricks in a bat suit. Ooh! Prime.
Oh, boy.
Prime suspect. You know, I went bowling yesterday.
Yeah.
And my freaking... Like, you know, I don't know if you've been bowling for a while, but, like, my hand is, like, sore. Like, my thumb tendon right here, it's, like... It's weird, like, to close your hand. Can't really close my hand all the way.
2 weeks ago, I went to the batting cage, so I know what you feel.
Exactly.
I know what you're feeling.
So I can't really close my hand. It's like, how else am I supposed to jack off, T-Kettle?
Unbelievable, dude.
Another one. Second in a row.
I don't even think you went bowling yesterday.
I did, though. I did go bowling. I did.
Yeah, so that'd be cool.
That would be cool.
That would be sick.
And speaking of DC and superhero movies,
yeah.
let's talk about something interesting here.
This is the third news that has to do with superhero stuff.
That's right, because I love it. You know, I do get a lot of my news from comicbookmovie.com.
Yep.
So that's why. The Flash has lost another director. Technically 2 directors because it was a team.
Who was it?
It was John. I don't remember. They had like weird names, but they did Game Night. They directed Game Night.
Okay.
And they John Francis Daly was one of them, and then someone else I can't remember. And then they left, and they're the 3rd director to leave this project. First it was Seth Grahame-Smith left, then Cary Fukunaga left, I think his name is.
Yeah.
And then this guy left. These 2 guys left. And it's crazy. This movie just can't get made. And a lot of people are citing the reason that they left was because they wanted to do a more fun, lighthearted take on The Flash because it's The Flash.
And they don't want that?
They don't want that. Apparently, Ezra Miller, who is still attached to play The Flash...
not for long.
For some reason. He wants a darker take on The Flash.
Wait, Ezra Miller does?
Ezra Miller does, yeah. He wants a darker take on it, which doesn't sound like him, but that's what he wants.
Okay.
So apparently he kept clashing with the directors of Game Night, and they're like, "What? This is The Flash. Like, this isn't
read some
dark."
fucking comics, bro.
Yeah, it's like, have you seen The Flash's villains? Oh my god, they have a villain named Rainbow Raider. It's like that's real.
What's his superpower?
His superpower is, I know that I think he can control color or something, and he freaking flies on like a giant rainbow. Like
wow,
he literally,
that's
you know
menacing.
how Iceman has his ice slide?
Yeah.
He has a rainbow slide. I'm dead serious.
Yeah, that's real menacing, dude.
Yeah, in the TV show they did Rainbow Raider, and they changed it to where he had like mind control powers, and he can control your emotions based on the color spectrum. So like if his eyes turned red and you looked into them, you would get like rage induced, or like you know, if they turned blue, you'd get really, really sad. And I'm like, that's an interesting take on Rainbow Raider. I'm like, that's probably the best you can do to make that character cool.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You know, with such a stupid name.
It's actually not a bad idea,
right? And yeah, so that's what we're dealing with here. Why do you want a dark take on the Flash? Like, don't do it, man.
I don't know, man.
So they left, and now we have a fourth director attached to Helmet, and it's Andy Muschietti, who did It chapters 1 and 2. So
interesting.
Apparently they liked his balance of dark yet humorous and lightheartedness with It. So they're like, hopefully you can bring that to the Flash movie. And I'm like, why though? Just make it a Flash movie. He's lighthearted.
I mean, yeah, because he was kind of like the comic relief of Justice League.
Exactly.
I guess there's a question mark at the end of that, because I'm not actually sure if it was supposed to be funny, but
that whole movie was unintentionally funny. No, I'm joking.
No, 100%, dude.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, say what you will about Zack Snyder, but at least if he did that movie entirely, it would have been his vision. At least. And instead, that movie just became like a mess of like all these different ideas and reshoots and different visions. It was weird.
Yeah, so I don't really have that much to add to it, because I really don't know. I don't know too much about the Flash. I'll be honest with you.
Oh, he's great.
I mean,
his show was great for one season.
You know, he had. I saw him like in like the Justice League like TV show when I was a kid and stuff like that. He was always flirting, dude.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. There was the episode with him and fire or whatever. And he was like flirting with fire.
I remember he went to the Amazonian planet or whatever, and he was hitting on all them.
That was such a good show. I remember when him and the Lex Luthor and the Flash switched bodies somehow, and and Lex Luthor was like, "Well, if one thing's for sure, I can finally find out who the Flash really is." And he takes off the mask and looks in the mirror, and he's like, I have no idea who this is. Because it's true, he's just the guy.
He's just a dude.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what he would do if he was in Lex Luthor's body.
Oh my gosh. Let's see Ezra Miller switch bodies with Jesse Eisenberg. Oh.
No.
Oh. Jesse Eisenberg running like this.
Oh, that's fucking weird.
Oh, man. Nah.
So cool. It's,
yeah.
I bet he's not going to stay attached for too long.
I think this movie is officially in development hell. I don't think it's going to get made.
Yeah. Get one more director and we can officially call it.
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk about some interesting news here.
Yeah, I was going to say it's pretty vague.
Some controversy. Sorry. Let's talk about some controversial news. So, a couple things. The live-action Little Mermaid remake is happening. Found a director. Let's talk about that first. Rob Marshall's directing. And that makes me a little iffy about it.
Which one's Rob Marshall?
Rob Marshall did Chicago. He did Mary Poppins Returns. And he did Into the Woods. So he's very much a musical director. He loves musicals.
So and expect some musical numbers.
Yes, and that's kind of I don't know about this. I don't know about that. See, that's why I like the Jungle Book remake, is because they acknowledge the songs and pay tribute to them, but they made it organically part of the scene. Yeah, and apparently the new Mulan movie, which by the way, apparently the trailer is supposed to be released today, so I'm gonna keep refreshing this to see if we have to pause and react to that too.
Okay.
They're removing. I don't know if were there songs in Mulan, because they said there's going to be there
is songs.
They said there's going to be no songs in the new movie.
Fighting for and I'll Make a Man Out of You.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Classic, dude.
They said there's going to be no songs in the new movie.
What? No, that's whatever. It's literally just a war film. That's what makes me so mad.
It's just a war film. Yeah, there's going to be no songs, but at least they're doing something different. Now this shows me that the musical aspect of Little Mermaid, which is my least favorite part of Little Mermaid, is going to be the forefront of that movie. And the thing about Rob Marshall is, I like Rob Marshall, don't get me wrong. I mean, he's great at what he does. I like Mary Poppins Returns and stuff, but it was that movie went way too far with the musicals, man. Oh my god.
Well, maybe not far enough for people that actually like musicals.
I know, right? He films his movies like a stage, and that's what I don't like. I always find his films to be very stage-like because he comes from the stage. He comes from like as directing plays and stuff. So he films a scene like a play sometimes, and it kind of makes the scope of a movie seem really small scale. You know, it seems kind of claustrophobic and small scale. That's in all of his movies.
See, I kind of like that though. I mean, it depends on the moment or whatever. But when you like go into like the Mary Poppins universe, like whatever like the magical universe is called or whatever, maybe not do that. But for anything that's not like that, like the ordinary, it kind of works.
Yeah, I guess. But the thing is, with Little Mermaid, I don't think that suits Little Mermaid because. I think because I just watched Aquaman on the plane too, going to Arizona, and the scope of Atlantis in that movie is so grand and huge, and I feel like that's kind of the scope that should be brought to Little Mermaid, you know. But I feel like Rob Marshall's going to take that and just kind of shrink it down,
dude. At the end of the movie, he's just going to go to Disney World and just film the the stage performance, the attraction.
Yeah. There's a couple times in his movies where we're literally just looking at like a wide shot for an entire scene, and I'm like, can you cut to like an over the shoulder shot or something? Like, I get you come from the stage, but like, dude, you know?
Yeah.
The only movie I've seen of his that was not a musical was Pirates of the Caribbean 4.
Ooh.
Which was the worst one.
Ooh, rip.
Yeah, and I remember that movie being very bland as well. So that's the thing, like, I don't know about it, man. I don't know about it. So let's get into the more controversial news here.
Oh, I think I already know this one. My brother.
Yeah, they casted Ariel.
Yep.
Halle Bailey. Halle Bailey. Now tell me that's not confusing.
Halle Bailey.
No, it's Halle Bailey would be awesome.
That's a great name.
It's Halle
Bailey.
Halle Bailey. Yeah, like Halle Berry, but Halle Bailey.
That is a little confusing.
It is. So Halle Bailey is the new Ariel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard.
And people are upset. Some people are okay with it.
My brother asked me because he heard about. He's a very internet guy, so like, he knows all that shit. And he asked me, he's like, "What do you think?" I'm like, "I don't care, like whatever."
The thing with me is like, I love my Little Mermaid.
Yeah,
that's my girl. That's my girl.
girl.
Let me just say this right off the bat, okay? Halle Bailey is. Hold on. Before I say this, let me just look something up real quick. I don't want to. Okay, Halle Bailey is super attractive. Okay, she is. Super...
I was like, he's either looking up 1, the filmography, or 2, the age.
Yeah, I didn't want to just say she was prime. You know, whatever. She's prime, dude. She's prime. She is super good looking. She is beautiful. She's a beautiful girl. However, for a guy who grew up watching Ariel looking a certain way. I know it's not the original source material, so blah, 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 whatever. But, like, I grew up watching Ariel looking a certain way. Mm-hmm. Red hair, white skin, you know. So, it is off-putting for me to see that they're doing a race swap with Ariel. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm like, I don't know. I kind of don't like it. But the problem is like, the reason I don't like it is not because I'm racist, which everyone wants to label everyone nowadays. It's just because I am comfortable with people following the source material, dude. I'm not even comfortable sometimes with Marvel kind of taking dips away from the source material. You know? There is still a part of me that is upset that Hank Pym did not create Ultron. That still kind of pisses me off. Because I feel like that kind of ruins one of the coolest aspects over the Ant-Man character. You know?
Yeah.
Hank Pym creates Ultron in the comics, but they made Tony Stark create it in the movie, and that still kind of annoys me. You know? So, I'm kind of one for that source material, but I always do say, if they don't follow the source material, at least give me a good movie. So this still could be a good movie. I'm not writing off the movie entirely, but I'm just saying, like, I kind of wish Ariel looked like how she looked from how I remembered.
Yeah.
You know? That's all I'm saying. And I don't think I should be labeled a racist for saying that. You know?
People are, you know... I don't know. I don't know. Is that really what's going on right now?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, everyone's calling people racist. Everyone's saying blah blah blah. It's like, I know people. I'm not going to say any names just in case for their whatever. I have friends who are not white, and they agree with me. I had one friend who is not white. He was very mad about this casting. He said Ariel is white in the source material. I know it's not the original source material, whatever, and I know it, but let's just. Disney is basically the blueprint for all these stories now. Okay, the Brothers Grimm tales, unfortunately, aren't even really counted as like the first exposure to these characters anymore.
Okay.
You know? So even he who is non-white was like, this pisses him off. He's like, this is not what Ariel's supposed to look like. He's like, Ariel's supposed to be white with red hair and blue eyes.
See, I'm not like, I don't really care, I guess, because like I also don't really care for The Little Mermaid.
You son of a bitch.
It's not a favorite of mine. What do they call it? The Renaissance period? I think it's probably one of the weaker movies in that period.
All right, I'm gonna forgive you, but go on.
No, that's what I have to
okay.
say. And also about the source material thing, like, you know me, like, I don't want, like, I just complained about how, like, The Lion King looks beat for beat the actual Lion King. Like, sometimes I like it when it, like, drifts off.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever. So this doesn't really bother me at all. Like, I don't know. I want to know what they're going to do with all this.
Right.
And, as for, like, the, director, you know, maybe he could bring something new to the table.
Maybe.
I don't know. You said you liked Mary Poppins.
I did because it suited Mary Poppins. This is Ariel, dude. We go to Atlantis, dude. Like this, the scope needs to be big, and Rob Marshall is not good with making big things look at like a big scale film. You know, he takes films and makes them look very stagey and very artificial, and that's not even. I'm not even using that as an insult. Like that's his style.
Well, Disney has a very certain vision as well, so maybe they'll have him kind of like change his ways or something like that.
Maybe. I'm just a little upset because look, I'm upset because people are being labeled racist for not wanting Ariel to look different than how she looks, and I don't think people should be called racist for that. People grew up with these characters and stuff, and I kind of understand the frustration. It's like it's like if Mulan wasn't Asian, you know, that would piss me off too. I'd be like, why isn't Mulan Asian? Mulan has to be Asian. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's her.
It's
she's fighting for her country.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
It's like that's the thing, man. I don't know. Tatiana, for example, she's black. She's a black princess, and she should remain black. If they casted her as Asian, white, what other Mexican, whatever, I'd be like, that's not okay.
Yeah,
you know, it goes both ways, guys. People have such a hard time understanding that it covers the whole gamut. My feelings about recasting and race switching covers the entire gamut, especially when it's based on the source material. If it's not based on source material, I wouldn't really care. You know what? If they did an adaptation of The Little Mermaid that was based more on the Brothers Grimm story or ignored the Disney version, because I think she's a public domain character, actually, Ariel, you know? And they just did like something more faithful to the Brothers Grimm version of Little Mermaid or whatever reimagining, I wouldn't care what race.
I don't think Disney would ever do something like that, though.
No, I'm not even talking about Disney.
Yeah.
I'm just, because you know how, like, look at Snow White. I mean, anyone can make a Snow White movie. If they made like a Snow White and the Huntsman version of like The Little Mermaid, where they made it more dark and serious or whatever, I wouldn't care what skin color she was, because that's an interpretation. This is the remake. This is based off of the Disney animated film from '93. So this is based off of that. That's the thing that makes me go, but it's based off of that. Why do the switch? I just don't really get it, you know?
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
Again, if it was
it's a little ridiculous.
Yeah. If it was an original take on The Little Mermaid, I'd be like, I don't care what race you are. It's the, you know, whatever. You know? But when you base it on a source material, when you base it on something, it's like, you know, it's like, you know, whatever.
Well, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Disney has a good way of getting people to talk about it. Let's say that.
They fucking do, dude. And I hope Disney doesn't watch this podcast in 10 years and fire me from their job.
It's a bit presumptuous.
Only
on a couple different levels.
They fire me and then I get another job at another studio, and then they rehire me.
You get a job at DC.
You get a job at DC, and then they rehire me. Yeah, but that's pretty much it.
That's it for news.
I don't want to dive too much into it because I don't want people yelling at me. Because I just don't want to deal with it. And or yelling at us or whatever.
Yeah.
Because no one wins in any of these situations, let's be real.
Coming soon to a theater near you.
Let's talk about trailers.
Oh my god, I don't want to talk about these trailers.
Why not? There's some good ones though.
You think so?
I think so.
I think they're mostly bad.
What?
We'll see.
What? The Good Liar. I gotta be real with you. I watched the trailer a while ago. I don't remember.
It was
much
the one
about
with
Ian McKellen. He's like a con man, right?
Yeah, and it's about like some lies that he tells to some girl that he finds on a dating app or whatever.
Yeah, but it's Helen Mirren, right?
Yeah.
So it's like he kind of plays them.
Yeah, it looked whatever.
Yeah. But it's a drama though.
It looks like a drama thriller.
Drama thriller?
Something like that.
Okay. I'm going to check if the Mulan trailer is whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Considering I can't really remember it, this kind of seems like...
That's a good reason not to think it was
it's kind of like... It seems like it's not going to be something I watch in the theater.
No.
You know, so... There's that. So I guess that's all we can...
It doesn't really look like it's got anything, like, totally original going on with it. But, I mean, I could be totally wrong.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, they just released the Mulan trailer.
Oh,
all right. Well,
pause it.
I guess this is. Should we just? All right. Let's just do it. Let's do it. Let's
go to the other room.
What'd you think?
It looks whatever. It looks it looks all right.
It didn't hook me from the start, but as it kept going, it hooked me more.
Yeah, when they showed the camp and stuff, the scale of it, they brought that up.
Yeah, that was cool. I don't know much about Mulan. Mm-hmm. I do know that correct me if I'm wrong, she's a girl.
Yes.
Who pretends to be a guy.
Yes.
To go into the army.
Yes. It looks like they completely ignored that.
Really?
I mean, yeah, because she looks like a woman.
That's true. But there were some badass moments, dude, in that trailer, though.
No, I know, but like, what the fuck was that? She's just doing backflips and shit. Like,
it looks cool, though.
I mean,
does she not do that in the cartoon?
No. I mean, no. She's smart. She's really smart. But like, it's her. It's that makes her a good warrior. It's not because she's tough and she knows how to fight and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, they make like really cool plans to like defeat the Hun.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
That's cool, but here's what I like about it.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of looks like they are. I'm gonna sound like such a hypocrite right now because I'm saying like they changed it up a bit, even though on the Little Mermaid I'm like whatever. But it seems like they're kind of ignoring. Like I said, like we said when we were talking about The Little Mermaid, they're ignoring the musical aspect. This looks like it's just a straightforward film.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is cool.
God, I hope they turn some of those musical moments into symphonic pieces at least.
Yeah.
Because I really like some of those songs. I think the Mulan songs.
Is there
really
Is there a talking dragon in Mulan?
There is a talking dragon played by Eddie Murphy.
Oh wow! Okay.
Dude, Mushu is so good.
Well, I wonder. Do you think if they are going more realistic, they're probably just going to ignore that.
It seems like they cut like a bunch of characters though, because they don't have that. They have this cricket that's like a really like important like luck piece or whatever. Like she carries it around and it brings luck to her or whatever.
Yeah.
That's an important aspect of it. And then she has her grandmother who like really pushes her to become like the warrior or whatever.
It is a teaser though, so we don't. I mean, it could be in it
for sure.
I thought it looked pretty good, to be honest. I don't really have much complaining about it. But we didn't get to see a lot from the actress who plays Mulan. Oh God.
No, we didn't really get to see that much at all.
Yeah, no. But we got to see some cool set pieces.
Saw a glimpse of the villain.
Who's the villain? Wait, who's the villain?
Those like dark horses that were approaching.
Oh yeah,
they're all in black.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the villain. And then the guy who's training her, we saw like him for like a brief second. He's really thin.
Uh-huh.
Like he's supposed to be like this really really big buff muscular dude.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. I like what I saw. I hope it's good. I hope the actress who plays Mulan. I don't know her if she's been in anything else. Hopefully she can deliver.
Yeah.
On it. I really wonder where they're gonna take it. Are they gonna have a talking dragon, or are they just gonna go full blown serious?
I literally don't know. If they go full blown serious, I feel like what's the point of making this movie?
Right. I feel like a hypocrite because I'm like, I like the fact they're doing something different, but then with Ariel, I'm like, keep it the same. But I have such a personal attachment to The Little Mermaid. That's why.
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I have more of an attachment to Mulan for sure.
Yeah,
because,
exactly.
Saw that one in theaters.
Right.
My mom loves it. It's one of her favorites.
Mulan, baby. I think it looks pretty good.
I think it looks all right.
Yeah, I like the scale, and I like the cinematography in some of the parts. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. I thought we would talk more about it because it's Mulan, but
there's really
not much to
talk about.
Yeah, it was a short trailer. Yeah. Kind of weird how we talked about, but we should have talked about that big one first. But oh well. Let's talk about Jumanji Next Level. So you haven't even seen?
Nope.
It's so good though.
Is it?
It is. It's real funny.
Yeah, that's probably why I don't care about this one, but I do like the idea of like them body swapping to like different characters or whatever.
Well, that was from the last one too.
No, but like I mean, like they're not playing the same people.
Oh yeah.
So like they came in and like Danny DeVito's playing one of them.
That's fucking great. The
That
Rock's
was
playing Danny DeVito.
That was pretty funny to me, and so was Danny Glover playing
Kevin Hart.
Yeah, that was funny to me too. And I like the accent he's got going on.
I like the fact that Kevin Hart is finally not playing Kevin Hart because that is I love the I guess it's Jumanji 2 technically.
Yeah.
I really liked it. Pleasant surprise. I was not expecting to like it as much as I did. I thought it was one of the best films 2 years ago, 2017, right?
2017.
And I was like, wow, it was a pleasant surprise. But one of my complaints was that Kevin Hart just played Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
The whole joke was that Jack Black was playing a 16-year-old girl and The Rock was playing against type because he was like a nervous little like nerdy kid. And that was the whole joke, was that all these characters were playing against type. But then Kevin Hart just played Kevin Hart.
Yeah, but that's what's kind of nice about this one is
that he's
like
finally...
they get to do it over. Like they get to play in the movie again, but they get to play different roles.
Exactly, and that's what keeps it fresh.
Yeah.
There's not much revealed in the trailer. Besides the fact that it's a new dynamic with the body swapping, which I like. My only kind of concern was when they just announced the sequel to the last one. The last one kind of wrapped up really well. It wrapped up.
It made money, though.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It made money. They did not expect a sequel to be made. Mm-hmm. So how they kind of wrote themselves into a corner with the last one. It's like, so just by making another one kind of feels contrived.
Of course. It always does.
Yeah. But I mean, Toy Story 4 didn't feel contrived though.
I mean,
and that was one thing I was nervous about.
It felt like a cash grab, but it didn't have to be as good as it did. Let's be honest. It was a cash grab that literally they did not have to put any effort into it. The name Toy Story would have got me there.
Yeah, but it was still great though.
But it didn't need to be.
Yeah,
that's something my
but at least
totally
it actually furthered the story. It didn't seem contrived like that they. It's kind of like a Terminator 2 type thing, or sorry, Terminator 3 type thing, where at the end of Terminator 2 they prevent Judgment Day, but so how are you going to get around that when you want to do a sequel? The third one's like, oh well, turns out we just delayed it. Yeah. Judgment Day is inevitable. It's like what? That's so contrived, you know. Yeah. Toy Story 4 didn't do something like that, and I hope this movie doesn't do something like that where it just kind of goes like reverse and it's like, oh, turns out no, this blah 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 blah, and I'm like, oh man, you know.
I don't know what the ending of the first one is.
Well, I don't want to spoil it for you, so
I don't even know if I'm gonna watch it.
It's good though, man. You should really watch it. It's funny, it's fun, it's adventurous. It's good.
Okay.
I don't know why you know.
I'm not like looking at I'm just smiling, bro.
Yeah, you
can I not smile?
You can smile, but there's meaning behind your smile, and I should put you on trial for it.
No.
Yeah.
You got nothing on me.
I'm just joking. That was it's kind of a political joke. Yeah, I think it looks good. That's my only gripe is like, I hope it feels organic and furthers something along the line, like something along the story, because the last one actually had a lot of heart to it. You know, it ended, and I almost teared up at the end of the last Jumanji a little bit. I was like, wow, that hit me in a way I wasn't expecting.
Whoa.
Yeah. It hit me in a way I was not expecting. I was like, damn, okay. Hopefully they can do this. I have a prediction. My prediction is that Danny Glover and Danny DeVito because, you know, they're older, their grandparents, whatever, they get sent into this world, and they kind of experience the world one last time through this video game. Like, they experience the mountains and the tundra, and they get to kind of live their life and fantasy through this game, you know? Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where the emotion will probably come in, if I had to guess.
It's given a lot of credit to, like, VR. Like, that premise.
Yeah. It's more than VR, dude. They actually get sucked into the game.
Like I can just imagine.
You don't
like,
think Jumanji's VR, do you? Like, legit, like they put on goggles? Like, you don't think that,
no,
do you?
no. I mean, obviously, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, it kind of gives, like, if that was the theme of it or whatever, just imagine if they did something like that for people that were, like, on their deathbed or something like that.
Yeah,
you want to experience the world for the last time, we'll put VR goggles and, like, oh, that's good enough.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't know if it would be as much of a commentary on VR. I think it would just be more like they're just trying to make a sentimental moment.
We have nothing else to compare it to. Like, that's the closest we can get to.
I mean, I guess it's more magic. Jumanji's magic, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, again, I know nothing about it. Maybe I should watch it. So
You should. Okay. So this one might surprise you.
Oh, no!
This one might surprise you.
Yep.
Charlie's Angels trailer.
Yep.
Right? Now, how would you think I would react to this trailer?
Not great.
Not
honestly.
great, right? I'm about to surprise the hell out of you.
Yeah.
Guess what? Guess what?
You didn't like it.
I thought it was alright.
It's alright.
Which is actually, you know, pretty good, because you were probably expecting me to just be like, this movie looks garbage. Mm-hmm. Looks alright. No, it looks okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what? The one thing, the Charlie's Angels. I never really watched the old TV series with Farrah Fawcett.
Yeah, I actually have caught some reruns of it.
Oh yeah, is it good?
Yeah, it's actually pretty decent. But the ones that with like Drew Barrymore and stuff, like, they're not the same thing, like, whatsoever.
Oh really?
And this one kind of feels like
the Drew Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore ones.
Okay, yeah. I will say, I remember as a kid. I haven't seen them in forever. Like, shit, probably like 15 years. Mm-hmm. More than that, shit. You know, probably. I haven't seen the Drew Barrymore ones, but I remember as a kid, I loved the first one.
Yeah.
Charlie's Angels, that, like, remake, reboot, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember really loving that one. Sequel, Full Throttle, garbage. Absolute garbage.
Dude, I remember thinking that it was kind of funny. Like, they just, like, they gave up on the writing. It was so dumb.
That was Mick G's first movie, Mick G. And, dude, that movie was so bad. But I remember really liking the first one. Mm-hmm. But, again, I haven't seen it in a long time, so take that with a huge grain of salt.
For sure.
First of all, the first impression was not great in the trailer. When it's like, women suck. Oh, really? I'll show you. And I'm like, oh, another? Can we stop politicizing everything, please? But I kind of gave it a pass as the trailer went on, because it's Charlie's Angels, and they kind of went away from that, at least in the trailer. And you know what's the craziest part about this trailer for me? Kristen Stewart's in it, and she looks like she's having fun. Like,
yeah,
she's actually smiling and like having a ton of fun.
I saw her and I was like, is that Kristen Stewart? I'm like, no
by the way,
she wouldn't be in a movie like this.
By the way, Kristen Stewart, prime.
Wait, okay, so now, wait a minute.
You know why? She's got that long hair in the beginning.
Personal shopper, you are not on board. What happened?
I was not. Because she has that long hair.
Damn it!
In the beginning.
Why is this? Damn it! This movie's gonna ruin her for me.
She's got that long hair in the beginning. You know?
Oh, man.
Hey, man. Robert Pattinson has Matt Reeves' Batman, and Kristen Stewart has Elizabeth Banks' Charlie's Angels.
That's a weird... Wow. When I saw that she directed... I'm like,
Elizabeth Banks. You know what's kind of funny? I'm not saying Elizabeth Banks has an ego or anything, but I laughed when it showed her... She's Bosley now, which is kind of interesting. Mm-hmm. And it shows her like, hi, I'm Bosley. From director Elizabeth Banks, and then the very next shot again is her just walking. And I'm like, so the thing that bookends the shot of her name is 2 shots of her. And I'm like, I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
That's obviously the editors of the trailer did that.
I did too, which also made me think like, oh, I guess Bosley's gonna have a way bigger role. She's gonna be like in the missions, like on the field with them and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, oh.
Wait, but was Patrick Stewart in this trailer? He was in the very beginning.
He's Charlie.
Oh, damn. Okay, yeah. There you go. Yeah, okay, so I thought some of it was kind of charming. Like, it looks like the girls have good chemistry. You know, I'm like, okay. I like Kristen Stewart and Naomi Scott. I love Naomi Scott. Mm-hmm. And the new girl, too. I don't know her name, but she's also really prime. And their acting ability is great. Kristen Stewart's a great friggin' actress. But the crazy thing is, even though she's a great actress, she's been on the indie circuit for so long, she always kind of seems like she has that kind of very serious, monotone kind of delivery, which is not bad. It's her style, and she works it. Mm-hmm. But this one, she's like smiling and dancing. Like, there's that dance scene with her. And she's like, I'm like, Kristen Stewart's dancing right now? This is weird.
Yeah, it was, very off-putting.
And I'm like, damn, like, maybe she's trying to show her range. It looks like she's having a lot of fun.
And that part's great.
And that part's great. Maybe she's like, I'm sick of doing these really, really serious movies. Can I just do one fun one?
Or she needs money.
Or she needs money. That's true. But it looks like she's having so much fun.
Because I've seen her in a lot of smaller movies in the last, several years.
That's true. Personal Shopper's amazing. But... Again. Thank
you. You've come around. Let's go.
I gave it a good review. I gave it 4 out of 5 the first time I saw it. Same star rating. But yeah, it actually looks like this is like the most fun I've seen her have in a while, and that was like, maybe I'm just put off by her charm, and I'm like, that's what made me think, you know what, this movie looks all right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this movie, to me,
I hope the chemistry's
doesn't really look like comedy. It doesn't really look like...
action.
I mean, not, fully. It kind of just looks, really hollow, like them just kind of posing, just kind of flaunting,
that's kind of
it's Charlie Angels-esque, vibes
true.
And auras.
Well, it's funny because wasn't the Drew Barrymore one kind of just a subtle satire on just the whole idea of Charlie's Angels?
Yeah, it definitely felt like a...
It was kind of
there was a lot of sexual innuendos.
Yeah, it was I remember they filmed it kind of like it knew what it was. Like some of the dialogue delivery was very hammy, but intentionally.
Yeah.
This kind of seems like they're just going for a straightforward kind of Charlie's Angels movie,
Yeah.
But it looks like it could be fun if it's your thing.
If it's your thing.
Yeah. If it's your thing. I probably won't see it, though.
Yeah.
It just doesn't look like it's my thing. Unless it gets great. If it gets, amazing reviews.
That's kind of what it is with, every movie. If it gets great reviews, I might see it.
Yeah, same.
No matter what it is.
Don't call me Angel. No,
oh, yeah, those
that's another thing, too. I really don't like when movies advertise, a soundtrack. Mm-hmm. To me, that's always, a red flag. To me.
Yeah, because it's just promotion.
Yeah, featuring the new single by Ariana Grande, Lana Del Rey, and Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't like any of those artists. So I'm like...
So rip.
So rip for me. But it looks like it could be fun, especially if you're into that sort of thing.
Yep.
Just see it for Kristen Stewart, because she deserves it.
Don't see it for her. Keep her...
She needs the money. What? If she needs the money, then you gotta see it.
I want her to be a hipster girl.
Oh, too late. She's in Charlie's Angels.
Unfortunate.
She's in Charlie's Angels. So
just when people were starting to forget about Twilight,
Well, people love it, though. People love her in it. I saw one tweet. She was like, Kristen Stewart beating up men, count me in. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh. I'm like, come on, dude. Anyway. Let's talk about probably one of the most forgettable trailers for me. Black and Blue.
Oh, yeah.
Another cop drama about a band of crooked cops that try and go after the straight cop, and the straight cop has to make everything right.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty forgettable.
Frank Grillo's in it. Tyrese Gibson's in it.
Yep.
All right, Queen and Slim.
Literally, the next movie is both of them I kind of forgot about, and I watched them yesterday.
Queen and Slim.
Yeah.
And they say this. They said this in the trailer, so I'm not saying this as a race thing, but it's the Black Bonnie and Clyde. That's what this movie is being portrayed as. They say that in the trailer. Oh, you're the Black Bonnie and Clyde. And that's very evident in what they're doing, but it seems like it's taking a political turn that I kind of didn't appreciate. Mm-hmm. They kill a cop in self-defense, which, okay.
And then they own it.
They kind of own it and, glorify it.
Yep.
They even have, a song in there. They're like, cop killer. And I'm like, this is weird. I'm like, this is making me very uncomfortable. I don't like that,
So, yeah, I don't really know. I mean, they showed, the incident that happened or whatever, which was kind of, Wow, the dialogue in that scene was like really weird.
Very contrived. It was kind of, it reminded me of Widows a little bit, where it's like, give me your license.
You're also under arrest. What?
Yeah, like
how?
what?
For what?
Like what?
Like they would anyone would do that?
Mm-hmm.
And then it just kind of showed a montage of like what happens later, and it's like I really don't know. Like it looks like what you said.
Yeah.
But it's just a montage, so I don't really know.
Right,
like,
right.
What the point of the film becomes like.
I hope it explores both sides. Like you can't just glorify.
So they just keep going. Like maybe he gets like power hungry after that. Maybe he just starts going around like. Killing people,
killing cops. I hope not. I mean, again, it seems very politically motivated, and it just seems so anti-blue. I'm like, it makes me uncomfortable. It just really made me uncomfortable, you know. And again, it seems really contrived, like in Widows, when they're like, "Hi, license and registration, please." Sure. Like I was like, "What?"
Yeah, I feel nothing about that sort. Like,
I was like,
that doesn't really like concern me. I just think
like what doesn't concern you?
Just like any of that, like political messages and stuff like that. Like
it doesn't. I mean, it's glorifying like cop killing almost though. It's what it seems like.
I really don't know. Like I think this is it's a very weird thing to have a premise like this and then to keep it like vague.
Yeah.
It's like maybe not the smartest move, but like I don't know. I think the movie itself just kind of looks like whatever.
Yeah. Well. The cinematography looks really good. I'll give him that. It looks pretty good. You know what's funny about...
I like Daniel Kaluuya.
Daniel Kaluuya, yeah. You know what's funny about these movies, though, that we just reviewed, Black and Blue and Queen and Slim? This is just... And I know we talked about this before, but movies that are coming out into the theater have the most boring-ass posters. They're actually right next to each other, which is funny.
Oh, you must have watched the Royal Film Society...
I did, actually.
Yeah,
but
video.
But this was. I even said this before I saw that video.
Yeah,
because this is true.
What do we got?
Look at these. Look at Queen and Slim in Black and Blue.
Oh man,
it's just
text.
It's just text, and then look at the one Peanut Butter Falcon.
Come on, bro.
It's nothing.
No, because he's 100% right. You got to advertise your film. I don't know anything of what does blue and yellow have to do with the movie.
Exactly. Like same thing with Dr. Sleep. Like I get it. It's that's kind of different, but again, it's just text. But then look at something like Armstrong, which is like a super independent documentary. Look at that poster. That has effort put into it.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know why? Because these small films have to put so much effort into the poster because they don't have such a huge studio backing them.
Yeah.
You know? And
that's the end of their marketing right there.
Exactly. Like Charlie's Angels. Like, it's so boring. You know what I mean? And, so.
But also you have to think that, like, at some point, they might change it once the movie, it gets closer to the movie comes out. They always release, like, a different one.
That's true. But you got to admit, like, Above the Shadows, for example, like, that's a cool poster. Like, these posters that for, like, these indie films are always so much better. Frozen 2, boring. Just a snowflake. Like, put some... Look at Loose. Same thing. It's like, put some effort into your posters, guys. Any movie that comes out in the theater... No one puts any effort into the posters.
Nico just starts walking back to his chair, and he's like, "Look at this!" He finds another one. He comes back to me.
I know,
and he
that's
starts
true.
walking back, and he's like, "Look at this!"
It's true, dude. It's true. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
Lazy.
It's lazy, bro. It's lazy.
Lazy.
And that's funny because when I go on this trailer app, that's how I sometimes learn which movies to talk about. Because I don't want to talk about a movie that's just going straight to iTunes. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because I want to talk about movies that are coming out in theaters for mass audiences. At least somewhat, you know? So usually I know which ones those are just by how bland the poster is. The blander the poster, I'm like, oh yeah, this is totally a movie theater movie.
Yeah.
Click on it, and yeah, that's what it is. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
So let's just get to the last trailer, the one that we've been waiting for.
Yes, the one we've been waiting for. This one I'm very curious because this was on both of our anticipated lists.
Yeah.
An honorable mention for me.
Honorable mention.
Honorable mention for you.
Yeah.
Knives Out.
Knives Out
by Ryan Johnson.
Looks pretty good.
It does look pretty good.
Still really digging the cast. That's really the
cast
right
is
now.
so good, so good.
I love whodunits. Like, that's also awesome.
And this is a straight up whodunit. Like, that's what I like about it, is Ryan Johnson is straight up saying, oh no, there's nothing subtle about it. This is a straight up tribute to whodunit films.
Yeah.
This is the movie, this is Clue.
When I saw this movie, just looking at the trailer and stuff, I feel like it looks like it could have had like Tarantino dialogue. It's not that funny though. Like that's
really?
one thing. I didn't think it was like when he was like what did he say about Colonel Sanders or whatever? CSI.
Oh yeah,
KFC or whatever. It was like.
Yeah, that joke was a bit bland.
I didn't think anything of it was funny, but like
I just thought it was funny. I thought it was funny when everyone was yelling at Chris Evans and he's like, "Eat shit, eat shit, definitely eat shit." Oh, that was funny.
I mean,
you know,
maybe it's just because I like Chris Evans. I mean, I had a smile on my face.
Just
I think it's funny.
I love how like it was so dramatic and like it zooms in on Daniel Craig and he's like, "I have figured out nothing," something like that or whatever, you know.
Yeah, I've eliminated no suspects.
Yes, that is great. And you're right, dude. The cast is amazing. I will say though, when this movie was announced, I thought it would be more serious. This is very quirky.
Yeah,
it's very quirky, which is something that Rian Johnson has never really done. He's never really done like comedy, not to this level.
No,
this seems very comedic.
This is going to be this year's Bad Times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, that's a good way to put it. Yeah. That's really, and I love.
It comes out at the same time period too.
Yeah, and I love Bad Times.
That was fun.
That was a good one. It was very original, Bad Times. So I thought this was original. Like, it kind of looks original too, even though it's paying tribute to. It's such a homage. Yeah, I'm a sucker for tribute films, dude, and it's such a homage to whodunits. I love it. I love it too when it's like from the director of Looper and Star Wars Last Jedi. It's like a magnifying glass and it's like looking at it. I'm like, it's so sick. That's awesome.
That is pretty sick.
You know?
Dude, I actually was just watching Clue the other day. Dude, I love that movie.
That's such a good movie.
Such a good movie.
It's such a good movie.
That's a funny movie.
I love the part when Mr. Green, because he's gay, is like, everyone, I can't remember, was it Scarlett? She's like, does anyone want to go to the bedroom? And everyone's like, yes, me. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. And he just walks away.
Yep. That's so good.
Or maybe he's not gay, depending on which ending you get. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, those three endings that's a really good idea too. Which is cool because like I feel like they work kind of.
They do, and it makes sense like with the game and everything to have multiple endings.
Yeah, and
it's kind of a marketing thing too because you just kind of want to see it again just to see which ending you'll get. You know,
I'm pretty sure they put all three of them when they showed it.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I think that's the way it's supposed to be.
Oh, okay. Because I just thought they literally just for the DVD just put.
I'm gonna have to look that up, but yeah, okay, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
So Knives Out is the new is Clue.
It's Clue. Yeah.
Clue and Bad Times.
But it looks so. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I love Rian Johnson. People give Rian Johnson such shit, dude. There's this guy. I don't follow him, but for some reason his stupid video was recommended to me. It was called. His name was like Geeks and Gamers or something like that. Mm-hmm. Which you think, oh, Geeks and Gamers. That's probably why it was recommended to me because I'm like, oh, okay, Geeks and Games. I'm into it. No, he's basically just like some commentator who likes to shit on everything, and he shits all over Rian Johnson.
YMS.
Kind of like that, but more politically leaning.
Okay.
Whereas YMS just kind of focuses on the movie and shits on the movie. This guy shits on the person, and that's just kind of fucked up. I mean, YMS does that too, but like this guy actually dedicates whole videos to talking about Rian Johnson is like so shitty of a person and blah blah. Rian Johnson, I don't know if you saw this, but he started replying to some people on Twitter who were trashing The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
You know? And he wasn't like yelling at them or anything, but he was just replying to them like whatever. This guy made a whole video about Rian Johnson's finally losing his mind. We're winning, guys. He's finally cracked.
He's cracking.
He's cracking. Like he's absolutely ridiculous. Like we're finally driving him toward insanity. Like we're finally ruining his life. And I'm like,
what the fuck?
I'm like, chill the fuck out, dude. It's fucking Star Wars, bro. Chill.
I think we've talked about this before, but you do shit like that, like.
Oh yeah.
You're if you want to make movies, you're ruining that opportunity. Because one of those days you're gonna run into somebody who's a big friend of Rian Johnson's.
Oh yeah. If you're looking for yeah, if you're looking.
Y'all right there?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just
texting.
Yeah, I'm texting away. Yeah, you're right. If you're looking for a job in the industry, you should not be like that in your video essays.
Fuck no.
Yeah, because like you know how many people are probably friends of Rian Johnson? The guy's friends with some of the biggest people in Hollywood.
Yeah.
So you will not be able to make your way up the fucking ladder in that industry.
Absolutely.
If you're just shitting on them, you know. That's not what people do, man. Like, that's just not what filmmakers do to each other. Filmmakers don't criticize their friends' films the way critics do. You know?
Yeah.
What do you think Quentin Tarantino tells Robert Rodriguez when he sees, like, Machete?
Good job, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Good job, bro.
You know?
That was awesome.
Exactly. Exactly. But yeah. So, but Knives Out looks... I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, for sure.
And the cast is so good, dude.
This cast is so good.
So good.
Joy from Blade Runner, dude.
Yeah, dude. Anna de Limis.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Freaking Daniel Craig, Chris Evans, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Toni Collette. Bruh.
Dirty, dude.
Bruh, they're doing me dirty. But I like it this time.
Mm-hmm.
Just strip me down and slap me silly.
Whoa.
Don't leave now, the movie's about to come on!
Excuse me.
Hey, theater. What do you do when you get stuck on a movie line with a guy like this behind you?
Wait a minute, why can't I
It's just
give my
maddening.
opinion? It's a free country?
I'm sorry, I'm looking through my movies that I have recently seen.
Recently seen what?
God, I've seen a bunch of movies.
Man, okay, well, I've seen a couple.
Okay.
And one of them is going to be kind of groan-inducing.
Groan-inducing?
Yeah, you're going to be like, oh, not this again. Because it is a rewatch, but it is something I wanted to mention, though.
Okay.
And it kind of ties in with our Spider-Man. On the plane coming from Arizona back to Detroit, I did rewatch Captain Marvel, second time.
Okay.
I will say, it was actually better the second time I watched it. It was better the second time I watched it. But I realized something. It's still not my favorite. I'm still not a huge fan of it. I don't think it's a bad movie, but there's something I noticed about it that I didn't notice the first time that also made me not like it, and it was a huge factor. The editing, I think, is a big misstep in that film. Because there are flashbacks throughout the film where they try to flesh out the character of Carol Danvers. I fully believe that those flashbacks should have been sooner in the film. I think we should have fleshed out that character first and then have her kind of wake up on Halle, which is the Kree world. The problem is it throws you immediately into Halle, this brand new alien world with this character we don't know. And it throws all these new ideas at you and just expects you to get it. But the character hasn't been developed yet. The performance doesn't help that. And we don't know why we should care about anything that's going on. And I think that was a huge problem with the film. I really think it moves too fast in the beginning, and it introduces all these new ideas to you, and there's absolutely no exposition. I feel like I understand there's a show don't tell mentality, but some of that stuff you need to explain.
I see where you're coming from, but I also will say that I think what they were trying to do is they were trying to... You were in the same mindset as Carol. Like, she also doesn't know, so therefore you don't know.
That's what they were trying to do, but I don't think it paid off, is my thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that
I got that's what you were going for.
For sure, until afterwards I saw it. But I will say, I remember being bored by the action the first time I saw it. Some of the action scenes, like the train scene where she's fighting the Skrull, that's actually a pretty good fight scene. It's actually a pretty good fight scene.
Yeah.
There's still no stakes, and she's still overpowered at the very end, where she just wipes, and there's like no conflict with her. But yeah, it boosted it up a little bit for me, just a tiny bit for me. So.
Well, that's good. Well, I have 3 films that I saw in theaters, so therefore I'd probably talk about those and probably push some other stuff aside. So, dude, I'm gonna talk about The Last Black Man in San Francisco.
Oh, damn! You saw it?
I did see it.
How was it?
Okay, so I heard of people saying, like, it was very thin, which I totally agree. It is very thin. And I seem to be in the minority here, but I really like this film.
Really?
I really like this
film.
film.
Well, it got like a 95%.
I mean, 95,
so...
but, like, you also have to... I mean, that's not the average.
Yeah,
it's just like that people said they liked it.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, for me, this film is really cool because it throws you into these characters' lives, throws you into San Francisco, and you have these 2 characters, these 2 friends that, like, literally don't say anything to each other. They don't have to because they've known each other for so long.
Yeah.
That they know how they think, so they just don't really communicate.
Yeah.
And they've been here for a long time, clearly, because they're not fazed by anything. Like they have this guy who's like hey, this is our waters, and it's polluted, and no one's doing anything about it. And he's just like talking to these guys who are in like radiation suits and stuff like that. And it's like, this is a normal day for them. There's they'll go on the bus or whatever, and there'll be a dude that's like literally naked, like he's got nothing on, and they're just like, what's up, bro? Like, there's nothing. Like, this is a normal day for them that they've probably been through like 30 years of their lives.
Oh, wow.
And, I mean, it's kind of goofy. And it's kind of funny.
Nice.
But
I heard it's a really feel-good movie.
It is a very feel-good movie. And that's, like, the best part about it. Is that all the stuff that you saw in the trailer, like the cinematography that was so cool, it's always that good.
Really?
You could have picked any 2 minutes of scenes from this movie, and it would look awesome on a trailer.
Nice.
It never gets lazy. The cinematography... the score is so good, dude. I was actually listening to it while reviewing it, and I was starting to feel like all emotional, and I was like, man, I want to hug my friends so bad right now.
Yeah.
And the editing, like, all like superb, and that's like what it does to kind of get you attached to these characters and attached to this part of the world, is all of that, like the cinematic elements, the bliss of it all, and this, like, in that regard, it paid off, like, completely. However, this movie fucking betrayed me at the end of the movie. There's one question that I had throughout the whole movie, and like I knew the answer to the question.
Okay.
And then like there was two answers, and then one of those answers was off the table. So I'm like, okay. I still know why. And then at the end of the movie, like, the character does something that like made me think I didn't know this character at all.
Wow, okay.
And it completely, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Derailed all that shit. And I was really upset by it, and I'm still upset by it, but like the execution of the ending is so good. It's so fucking sad. The way it's showed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I still can't forgive it. I can't love this movie because of that ending. I was really upset by it.
Damn.
So it was a step in the wrong direction.
Let me guess. You hate this film.
No, I really like this film.
No, high 8. That was the joke.
Yeah. Actually, it is a high 8.
I knew it.
It was so close. It was just so close. All I had to do was stick the landing.
Yeah. So you hate it. High 8.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
How'd you know?
I don't know. I just figured. I've known you for a while now, so I feel like I can gauge your. I wanted to see it, man. I'm so behind.
But you were in. It was Saturday last week, so you were in Arizona at the time.
Yeah. I am so behind on all these movies, dude. I was saying that 2019 is such a bad year, but I'm going to rephrase that and say it's just been a bad year for me because I'm seeing all these movies that are getting pretty good reviews from people just pass me by, and I'm like, oh, I just don't have time.
Yeah.
Oh, man, this is bad for me, man. You know how I say every year there's that one film? I feel like there's been like 10 of those this year.
There's another thing. I don't know how you would feel about this. The movie is pretty long. Maybe a little too long for you. I think you'd probably like it a little bit more if it was like 20 minutes shorter.
How long is it? Like 2
hours?
Oh, just 2 hours?
Yeah, 2 hours flat.
That doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah, but like when you're watching it, maybe that you
the pacing's
change.
A little, yeah.
Maybe it'd change for you.
I got you. Okay, is that it?
Yeah. It's gonna be on my top year list.
All right, cool. I'm going to, so I'm gonna talk about this film that I actually didn't get to finish because the plane landed right as it was going, and I was so mad because I was actually really into the film, Fighting with My Family. That WWE film about Paige.
Yeah.
And I always thought it was weird how they're making a life story kind of movie about Paige, and like Paige's still alive and she's still very young, Didn't
that come out this year?
It came out last year.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. I think, right? It might have come out early this year. I don't know, but
I can't fucking
remember. It was good. From what I saw, it was pretty good, and it was a little by the numbers, but I liked it a lot. And Stephen Merchant directed it, so there's a lot of really kind of funny humor. A lot of kind of not anti-American humor, but just, they kind of picture Americans as, like, dumb. And that's kind of whatever. There's a comedic moment where Paige, I don't know if you've ever seen Paige, like the real Paige.
Yeah.
But she's kind of goth.
Yeah.
She goes into NXT. She gets accepted into NXT, which is like the precursor to WWE. So it's kind of like tryouts. So she gets put up in this house with all these other WWE divas. So they're all like roommates, and they're all kind of like blonde and like really modelly, so they're very not Paige. And then they're like, "Hi, I'm Brooke. I'm Brittany. I'm Melissa, whatever." She's like, "I love your accent. Can you say something?" And she's like, "This is literally how I talk, whatever." And then she's like, "Oh, it's so sexy. Oh my gosh, here, read something." And then she hands them like a newspaper, and she's like, "The charred remains of the orphans as the bodies could only be identified by their teeth." And then the girls are like, "Oh my gosh, it's so cute!" Like, it's like, oh my god.
Oh boy.
So there's some comedic moments that I'm sure that's Stephen Merchant's like fingerprints all over those scenes, dude. I'm sure that didn't actually happen, but
who fucking cares?
Who fucking cares? Who fucking cares? The movie was good. It was good, and there were some dramatic moments too, because if this has happened in real life, so it's not a spoiler. Her brother doesn't get accepted because they try out together.
Yeah.
And she gets accepted. He doesn't.
I think that was in the trailer.
Yeah. So it causes for some tension there, and I didn't get to finish the movie, and I'm pissed now.
I mean, it's on your laptop, right? You can just finish it, right?
No, it was on my phone, but it was part of the it was part of the website for Southwest.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, that's sick.
Southwest gives you free movies.
Fuck, dude.
So I'm like, okay, but now that I'm not on that flight anymore, I can't watch it. So I have to go to like Family Video and like rent it just to watch the last 30 minutes. And I'm like, that's just...
Dude, I got you.
Oh, you got me? Do you have it?
No.
But you can rent it because you haven't seen the whole thing. So maybe we can watch it together or something. And then that way at least you get something out of it too. You know?
Yeah, maybe.
Good movie. Good movie. From what I saw. I didn't see the whole thing, so take it with a little bit of a grain of salt. But...
Dude, I can find it at the library. I bet you any money.
Oh, there you go. Dude, if you find a library, just give it to me.
I got you.
Hit me up.
I got you.
Hit me up. Preferably, for me, a DVD because I get to watch it on here. But if you can only find a Blu-ray, that's fine too. I'll find time to pop that baby in.
Yeah.
So
I got another one that I saw yesterday.
Oh, okay. How was it?
It was...
It's my boy Danny Boyle, but it's been getting mixed reviews.
It was whatever.
Oh, no!
It was very whatever.
Danny
dude.
Boyle!
I don't know, man. I mean, we've seen a lot of music movies and stuff like that, and it was such a missed opportunity because I've thought about this so many times. Like if I had the ability to do something like that,
like
that
go
would be
back
awesome.
in time and like
and then write those songs or whatever. Mm-hmm. But like this one, it's like it erases the Beatles from existence and a couple other bands or whatever and some other things, which was kind of fun. It was kind of funny how they would do that because the people would be like, "What's that?" And he would instantly it would edit back to him at the computer and typing in like the thing, and really? It's not there. So it was it was an ongoing joke for a while. It was pretty funny.
Okay.
And I mean, if you took the Beatles out of the timeline, the music industry would have changed dramatically. Yeah. And they don't explore that whatsoever. Basically it's just everything's the same. Music has not changed whatsoever. Right. And they're literally the most innovative band in
history.
It would have been so cool if they would have been mono is the only way to listen to music or whatever. They don't have stereo or something.
Oh yeah, okay.
That would have been really cool. It was such a missed opportunity. Instead it's just now he's just making this music and he just becomes a rock god. Yeah. And the thing is the way that he does it, the progression of it is so weird and it doesn't make any sense. He plays one show for a bunch of kids, at a prom or whatever, and then next thing you know, somebody heard him play there and he's a recording artist, and it's what? That's not how it fucking works. Yeah. He there was no sacrifice whatsoever.
Oh damn.
And it just kind of happened for him, and that was kind of weird.
Damn, that sucks.
I mean, the movie was cute, for sure. Mm-hmm. I mean, it wasn't that funny. There was some moments, I guess, I said that part. But yeah, just when you have such an idea like this, why make a movie that is every other music movie that's out right now? Mm-hmm. And that was kind of my problem. I mean, he's still a good director. I'm some of these shots don't need to be as good as they are, whatsoever. Yeah. I'm okay, Danny Boyle's just flexing on him. But I mean, I just saw it, and for some reason, I'm drawing a blank on a lot of what I saw because it just kind of felt by the numbers. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think the musical performances were all that great either. Mm-hmm. But I guess that's another thing entirely. It's you have somebody who is like whatever at like playing music, but then you have like really good songwriting, and that's something that people appreciate more, which is kind of nice. I think it's a little bit optimistic.
Yeah.
And then about the themes of the movies. I mean, obviously they touch up on the music industry and where it is right now, and how like marketing is such a big deal.
Yeah.
Like he's like got like all these ideas for the album covers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Of course, they're like the album covers that we know,
like Abbey Road. And
yeah,
stuff
so
like
it's
that,
Abbey Road, and they're like, no, this is stupid. Like, what about this? And it's like something completely like generic. It's just a picture of his head, and it's like, well, that's exactly what like everybody else would do. So this is spot on. But then you have another theme that's like completely like, it's just like it's whatever. Like it doesn't make sense. There's no correlation between the two. It's like kind of like technology and like how we're like it's like this. It's like our phones, man.
Yeah.
And how he wants to have like serious conversations with his like friend or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're just like on their phones and stuff like that. It's like, what does that have to do with this movie? Like it's just kind of thrown in.
Sounds like a weird theme to throw in there.
Yeah, it was super weird. So like the movie was just like kind of like all over the place. I mean, I enjoyed for most of it, I guess. Like I watched it, but I think the movie was just, it was whatever. It was kind of generic.
It sucks, man, because I love Danny Boy.
Me too.
Danny Boyle.
I'm gonna give it a high five, bro.
High five. Nice. Nice. All right. Are we gonna talk about the big one now?
Yeah, we're talking about the big
Well,
one.
it's good because I have a lot to say.
I know you do.
But that usually means I don't like a film.
Not this time.
Not this time. Okay. You know what I was kind of expecting with this film?
What do you got?
I was kind of expecting an Ant-Man and the Wasp, where after Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp was released, and I like Ant-Man and the Wasp, but I was like, I like it, but, you know.
Weird follow-up.
Weird follow-up. This film, fucking awesome. I love this film, dude. I loved it. I thought it was fucking dope. It was so cool. I just loved seeing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked it. I liked it probably about as much as I liked the last Spider-Man movie.
See, I disagree. I loved it way more than Homecoming.
Really?
And I like Homecoming, but I've said this many times. I'm like, there's something about it that just kind of, it doesn't feel like Spider-Man. There's something about it that feels kind of empty to me. And I feel like this filled in some of those voids. It's a much more confident movie. There's a lot. This is sequelitis done right. The humor is amped up. The spectacle is amped up. The action is all amped up. The scale of the film is amped up. And I think it all works. I think they really, really achieved what they were going for. Everything is amped up, but it doesn't feel like it's too much. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
it's gonna be hard to talk about this film without spoiling it.
Yeah, that's gonna be a challenge.
It's gonna be a challenge, but
So,
we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
I mean, most of these people that are watching the clip, or if anybody's watching like the clips or whatever of this specific one, they probably have seen it. Let's be real.
Yeah, no, that's true. But
I mean, how many people like watch reviews for movies that they haven't seen? Like, not a lot of people do that. I feel like.
I know. See, I find that watching reviews for movies. And then going to see the movie just kind of ruins the movie for me.
Yeah.
You know, I like to watch reviews after I've already made my assumption about it.
And then you just want to be validated.
Yeah, exactly. I just really enjoyed this film. I had so much fun with it. I was not expecting to like it as much as I did. I really did. There's not much I really have to say that's not good about it, besides like one little thing which we'll get into.
Yeah.
But I really liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess we can start kind of from the beginning. Like the beginning of this movie was kind of interesting because it kind of separates Spider-Man and Peter Parker. Peter Parker's really like his own character at this point. And like for most of that movie, he's like, I'm gonna hook up with MJ or whatever. Like that's his whole plan or whatever.
This really is like a teen romance.
It's a teen romance film, and it's not bad because I like Peter Parker so much, and it's actually kind of funny. Especially the funniest scene in this movie is when the teacher was telling him about the wife.
Oh yeah,
that was the funniest scene in the movie.
That's the thing too, and I've heard people love and kind of hate it, but I personally love it. What do you think that they really took? They really took a different tone. The movie establishes its tone kind of right out the gate. There's a very funny opening scene where I was laughing throughout most of it, even just with like little like visual gags about it, like a watermark on a photo, or like how one photo of a certain Avenger is like really low res. I just thought that was really funny, just little touches like that. And they kind of treat Thanos and like what happened is sort of like a joke. But I feel like that's kind of okay. I like that though, because Endgame was its own thing. That was the end of that era. So now it's time to move on from that. So the fact that it took such a 180 in its tone, I was like, I like that.
You just reminded me, because I totally forgot about that segment. Cause
it's so good.
My younger brother's older than me now. That's so funny.
He's like, I think it's time that we should address the newest state of art. The shit's crazy. The shit's crazy. Like you
can't swear on
He's
here.
like, you can't swear on here.
Yeah, that was actually pretty funny now that I think about it. Yeah, and that's like what carried most of those moments, and the fact that you care like what happens to Peter Parker.
Yeah, and Peter Parker's such a lovable character, and that's what I think. I think the Homecoming films have really established Peter as how he's meant to be. You know, they really changed kind of the mythos of Spider-Man a lot, and you know they make him much more high tech than he ever was in the comics. You know, he's basically Iron Man level with some of his tech. But they keep the essence of who Peter Parker is intact, which is he's a high school kid who he wants to help people and he has that responsibility, but at the same time he just wants to live his life and have a childhood, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And have like he wants to just kind of forget about everything and just focus on telling the girl he likes that he likes her.
And that's kind of nice, because like it seems like Peter Parker and Spider-Man are both going through their own things. Like Spider-Man wants to live up to his name.
Yeah.
And that's
especially because he's got the burden of Iron Man.
Yes. That's what I was. That's the. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's anchoring it right there.
Yeah, but you feel for these characters because it really nailed the duality between the characters.
Yes.
You know, and it also establishes. The scale of this film is much bigger than Homecoming. Homecoming never left Queens. This film, you get to go to Paris, Prague, the Czech Republic.
Yeah.
You get to go Germany. There's so many different places. It really is a globe-trotting film. And I like that. I like how the fact that it really did go bigger scale with the locations and especially the action.
Yeah. I mean, they needed it for Spider-Man, because obviously Spider-Man's going to be kind of like a face of Marvel after this point.
Yeah, exactly.
And but I mean, I think it worked really well for Homecoming too, because you know it's localized.
It is localized.
He's the friendly neighborhood.
Exactly. It humanized him, and I think that's really cool. Now it's like he's known as the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, but now people are trying to kind of make him. He's an Avenger now, so now he's got this even bigger responsibility. Yes. So now it's crazy. Now, how is this kid? That's a lot of burden on this kid's shoulders.
For sure.
You know, and it touches on that, and I like that.
Yeah.
And how am I gonna? So the movie establishes its villains, the Elementals.
Yes.
From the comics, and this is one small complaint. Again, you know, I told you I'm a huge guy for the source material. They turned Hydro Man and Molten Man into like monsters, which I figured they would do with this film. They're not people, which. Hydro Man I kind of get, he's kind of a D-list character, but Molten Man from the comics is actually a really cool villain. He's kind of he has a lot of depth to that character, you know? In the comics, he's just a man who is molten, but he has like super strength. You know Liz, who Peter dates in Homecoming, you know? Mm-hmm. Like who he has a crush on?
Yeah.
That's her brother. Molten Man is her brother.
Whoa.
You know? So...
Well, obviously they weren't going to do that.
Nope, they weren't going to do that.
Well, let's be real. They took some other liberties.
They took some other liberties with characters. Yep. But there was a part of me that was kind of like, man, I just kind of wish like they didn't call him Molten Man or Hydro Man. I'm like, I kind of wish they just kept them like generic elemental monsters, you know. Mm-hmm. But so does that mean that the Earth creature is that Sandman? Because I'd be pissed because Sandman's dope. I'm like, I want to see Sandman. I don't want to see
whatever that was.
Yeah, you know, who's only in there for 2 seconds.
Literally 2 seconds.
2 seconds. Yeah, I'm like, really?
It's fucking horseshit.
If that is Sandman, I'm gonna be like, dude, that you did my boy dirty.
Pun intended.
Yep. You did my boy real sandy on that one.
So I guess since we're talking about them, I gotta be real. That's like when I was like, I kind of wish that there was like, I don't really care for the segment of the movie. I don't really care for like the elemental portion of the film because I'm like, this kind of feels like phase 1, like you said with Captain Marvel.
Uh-huh.
everything about it was like, I'm kind of like...
You mean
I'm
like
not,
when the first elemental appears?
Well,
like...
all of the elementals and their fight scenes and stuff like that, I'm
Yeah.
like, this is definitely lackluster to where we are now. And, I mean, for obvious reasons or whatever, but I'm
Right.
like, I definitely like Peter Parker's segments more than I like the Spider-Man ones, which is weird for me.
Okay.
Because, you know, I never thought I would say that.
I kind of felt that with like the first elemental segment where I thought the action was kind of like, I don't want to say lackluster, but it wasn't as grandiose or investing as I thought it would be. Mm-hmm. And, but that's when Quentin Beck comes into the equation, and it turns out that Nick Fury has hired Quentin Beck to help out with the elementals.
Yep.
And Quentin Beck is basically this guy from another Earth who his Earth was destroyed by the elementals on his Earth, so now they're on our Earth, which is Earth 616, which is a cool nod to the comics. And he's basically tasked to help Spider-Man defeat these elementals. And here's what I like about it, first of all. I'm going to try and... Okay, so Quentin Beck kind of fills the void of Tony Stark to Peter Parker.
Yes.
In a way. But it's kind of interesting the dynamic they take with it. Because this is something that happens in real life. After a father figure or a mentor is gone, you can get people with different motivations kind of fill in that void for you. You know? And it's really interesting to see the parallel of someone who is selfless being the mentor of Peter Parker to someone who is selfish being the mentor of Peter Parker. It's kind of interesting to see that counterplay. You know, it's kind of that was definitely an intentional dynamic there. Mm-hmm. And also Jake Gyllenhaal in general. What did you think of his performance? Because it's interesting. His performance is interesting.
I mean, I liked it.
Because there's a dynamic to his performance that might make you think he's not doing it well. But then it turns out that
I obviously know what you're talking about.
I'm just trying to
we
dance
talked
around
about we talked about it before this. What
Yeah.
we thought about him and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. There's an element to his performance where you're like, I don't know if I like this, but once you realize what he was going for, you're like, oh, that makes sense. You know? And then once it's revealed, his performance is turned up to 11. You're like, that's Jake Gyllenhaal, baby. That's Jake.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I love it. He has that classic Jake Gyllenhaal yell, and I love it, dude. Next to Nicolas Cage, he's got that classic Jake Gyllenhaal yell.
Dude, you know who's going to have a classic yell?
Huh.
It's Adam Driver.
Oh, yeah?
That piece of junk. Out of the sky!
Yeah, right.
No, it's, and from that point, oh god, fuck me.
I know, this is tough. This is tough.
I feel like I'm playing Operation.
I will say, when that happens in the movie, that's when the movie really kicks into gear, and you're like, this is cool. At least to me. I'm like, this is cool. Oh, God, how am I going to say this?
Okay, let's say this. The spectacle that I was definitely missing from, like, the elementals definitely came into play. Like, the fight sequences were a lot cooler. I kind of come to the realization that we're not going to get, like, really awesome, like... The choreography is not going to be as good now that the Russo brothers aren't involved. Like, they fucking kill it with the spectacle is really good.
Let's just say, so we know Mysterio's in this film, and if you know the comics, it's so obvious what we're talking about. But if you don't know the comics, we're just, because the trailers didn't spoil it, so we're not going to spoil it. But let's just say this. If you know the comics and you know Mysterio's deal, there's an element to his character that... With the trailers, I was nervous they weren't going to do. Because in the comics, he's the master of illusions. And in the trailers, he's just kind of shooting stuff out of his hands. So I'm like, I really hope they bring in the illusion aspect. And have him kind of take Spider-Man into this interesting place with that. And do his thing to him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when that segment happened... That shit was dope. I was like,
it was really dope.
This is ripped straight out of the comics. This is the element I was nervous they weren't going to do, and they fucking did it. And that's the thing about Mysterio, man. He's just a cool character because he is super smart. Mm-hmm. You know, he outsmarts a lot of people. He's one of the only characters in the Spider-Man universe that can outsmart a lot of people.
Yeah.
So, it's really cool. And that's what made me think, like, damn, this is so fucking cool. They really nailed this character, and Jake Gyllenhaal's performance, I was like, damn, this is sick, dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What did you think about his origin and the retcon?
Nah.
You didn't like that?
No.
I loved that.
Well, I just didn't like the exposition.
Okay,
listing.
that was my small complaint about the movie. The exposition dump.
Dude.
Yeah, it was a dump of it. It was a huge dump of exposition. But the actual retcon,
and for me, it just that character really didn't have that much substance to him. Like, just no.
You don't think so?
No, I definitely gonna remember because of the spectacle, because of the visuals that came with it. That's just.
I thought that character was cool because I don't think every character needs to be Thanos level deep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think his motivation was like, yeah, that makes sense for a. Or sorry, damn it, I have to edit that out. That makes sense for a Spider-Man character. That makes sense for yeah. I was like, okay, yeah. And I liked the retcon because it made sense and it was a cool tie-in. And then they brought in a retcon from Iron Man 1 that I was like, what the I'm like, okay. I'm like...
Yeah, I mean, that part was kind of cool. I think that was like what they were banking on. They're like, well, maybe they won't notice that there's just a ton of information being thrown at you if we make it cool.
Yeah. There is a ton of information, but in the end, I think that's like a small gripe for me.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is an exposition dump, but, you know, there's a lot in this movie that they have to cram in, and it's just too cool. And we need this character to go from point A to point B. And the sooner this character gets to point B, I'm happy with it. Mm-hmm. You know, because I want to see that.
Yeah.
And they pulled it off.
Also, how did you feel about this movie being the end of phase 3?
It still annoys me. It still annoys me that it's the end of phase 3. It should be the start of phase 4.
Yeah.
It really should.
Yeah. They should just call it. They got to call it something new. They can't just be phase 4 now. Like, because we ended an arc. Yeah. Like a long arc. Well, now they got to call it something
apparently
new.
They're calling it the Infinity Saga, is what they're calling it.
Yeah.
So phase 1, 2, and 3 are the Infinity
technically call
Saga.
it something new and just start with phase 1 again.
Yes. Bring in fucking Doctor Doom or Galactus, dude.
For the love of God.
Seriously, that'd be sick, dude. Can you imagine all of them fighting Galactus in the city? Oh, dude, I'm so down.
Now,
anyway.
Because I feel like there's two things that we have to talk about after this podcast. Just me and you.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, really like the oh God, I gotta after credit scene.
Dude. Game changer.
About fucking time. I've been saying that it's been a missed opportunity for so long.
And they fucking did it. I can't believe they did it, dude.
And
Marvel listens to their fans, dude.
Yeah, well,
they really
this is my thing though. Mm-hmm. Something tells me that it's not going to be like this forever. Mm-hmm. I feel like this is only happening because they're taking a year hiatus.
Yeah.
They're like, don't forget about us.
That's true. But that being said, though, where they're going to take it from there is going to be insane.
Fucking love this. Fucking love it. The best scene in the whole movie.
Yeah, that after credit scene, dude, it is a game changer.
Yes.
And but before we get into that, let's go back for a second.
Okay.
I just love the end of this film, the climax. That's a Spider-Man climax right there. The climax of Homecoming, I was like, this is boring. Like he literally just webs the Vulture and just slams him down to the ground. I'm like, that's it. I'm like, that's your Vulture fight, you know?
Friendly neighborhood.
Yeah. But I was like, that's a Spider-Man fight right there, baby. That was sick. And just like the Peter Tingle.
Oh boy!
Yeah.
That homage.
Dude, that was so good. That was so good, so good. Oh, dude, and the Peter Tingle scene, the Spider Sense scene.
Yeah.
So good.
That was good.
That was such a cool scene. And that's the thing, man. The person he's fighting at that time outsmarts him in such a crazy way, and like it's such a back and forth, and it's so freaking good. I love it. And at the very end, this isn't a spoiler, you finally get to see it, man. You finally get to see Spider-Man swinging through Manhattan. And I'm like, yes! This is Spider-Man.
That
GoPro shot, baby. That's it. I'm like, this is Spider-Man. Finally. Because in Homecoming, he was just in Queens. He didn't swing through the city at all. I'm like, yes, he's finally in Manhattan. It's dope. Anyway.
It was good.
Also, the
I liked
chemistry
it.
between MJ and him, I love it.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Mid and post-credit scenes, both of them, I thought. First of all, I'm glad they didn't make the end credit scene a joke. I was even nervous. I leaned over to David, who I saw it with. It was his second time seeing it, and I'm like, is the end credit scene going to be like a joke? Because they've been doing that for so long.
No, that was good, too.
But it was so good. It was good.
That's what I feel like we need to talk about.
That was another game changer. There were two giant game changers in the mid and post-credit scene. And I was like, what the
That's the one thing, like, because, you know, you don't really get a lot of progress from movies like this, especially for, like, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah,
but there's,
yeah.
like, there's always, like, if it's a good movie, there's always that one thing that's like, okay, this is what they need to start doing from now on. Like, they're learning from their mistakes, and this is something that, like, I've been saying it for a while, and fuck did it pay off.
Yeah.
Yeah. They should do it always. They shouldn't just do it because, you know, we gotta wait a while.
Yeah, no, you're right. And both of them are game changers. Obviously, we can't divulge into it. Me and you will probably talk about it after the podcast.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Fuck, it's so good.
Yes.
It's so good. Yes. So good.
So I'm glad we're on the same page. It seems like you like this, you love this movie like a lot more than I do. I like this movie. It's like it's a really decent movie to follow up something as big as Endgame.
Yeah, yeah. And to me, this is the start of Phase 4. I'm just going to pretend it's the start of Phase 4 because Endgame was such a definitive ending, and this was a good opening.
Yes.
And I love it.
Yeah.
So I actually gave this baby a 5.
I knew you did.
Yeah.
I knew you did.
Yeah, dude.
I give it like I gave it a solid 7, but I'm thinking high. High's good.
High 7?
High's good.
A heaven.
Heaven.
Man. All right.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's not bad. I guess, yeah, that's not bad for you. It's not bad for you.
For me, dude, why do you say it like that?
Yeah.
Did you make a hot list? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make my own hot list. How does that feel, you little bitch?
Oh boy, this has been so long already.
Yeah, so for this this next segment list, I picked mindfuck movies because I'd like to talk. There's some movies that I just want to talk about briefly that I haven't gotten a chance to talk about. For how I did this list, obviously these movies are like they're trippy. They're just confusing as hell. They turn your brain to mush. But like, I did this. I didn't pick the 5 best movies in this list. I picked the 5 that confused me the most.
The 5 most
that fucked me up the most.
Okay.
And that also has to do with like the order that I watch these. Some of these newer movies, if I would have seen them like, or like some of these older movies, if I would have seen them like, I just fucked up my hand like forever ago, like.
Yeah.
I might have thought differently, but just the way that it happened. You know, because, you know, these are personal lists, man.
Okay.
They're your personal experiences.
Speaking of lists, you mind if I, real quick, last time we did it was TV lists.
Yep.
I actually have 2 more honorable mentions I want to add.
Okay.
First off, I started watching Stranger Things again. I forgot how much I love that show.
You're watching the new season?
I'm watching the new season.
I killed it already.
Oh, really? Damn.
Yeah. I killed it in like
well, I guess
2 sittings.
I'm behind. And second one, I can't believe I forgot about this, but Impractical Jokers, dude. I was
going to say,
show.
like...
I love that show. You know what? I watched that with my grandma in Arizona every day. We watched it every day.
She liked it?
Oh, she loves that show.
Oh, did you introduce it to her?
No, she already knew about it. She's like, it was on TV. She's like, have you seen this show? And I'm like, I love this show. And then we would watch it almost every night and crack up, dude.
That's great.
It's such a good show. I love that show. And remember how I said... I'm sick of prank movies. Apparently they have an Impractical Jokers movie coming out. That's the one exception. I can't wait for that movie.
Oh, yeah. So,
anyway, mindfuck movies.
Mindfuck movies. I have 1, 2... 15?
15 honorable mentions?
Yep.
I don't have any honorable mentions.
Oh, really?
Really.
Holy shit. So I'm going to just be talking about a bunch of shit then.
Okay.
Some of these I'll have to explain like why I think they're like fucky. But do you mind if I just
go ahead.
Go ship away?
Yeah.
So first I'm going to give a shout out to the movie Borgman, which is like easily like the weirdest movie I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
Like most of those movies that you see like that is like really just completely fucking odd.
Yeah.
You'll have like one scene that stuck out and it's like that's the scene that you'll always remember the movie for. Didn't have any of that. No, every scene was just fucky and it just fucked me up. Next, Evolution is a movie that came out in 2016 for us. It's not that mind fucky, but there is like, it's super subtle. There's like a piece of information that it took me like 30 minutes to like realize it.
Okay.
We've been watching the movie and it's like, super obvious too. It's like, what the fuck? Like, I was watching it with Mark and like we figured it out and we were like, what the fuck? And that changed everything. Changed everything.
Okay.
So that was interesting. Valhalla Rising is a Nicholas Winding Refn film.
I have heard of that film.
That movie is it's kind of very similar to Only God Forgives and Neon Demon, which is both on my on my honorable mention. So just knock that out. But this movie, you have to understand like Norse mythology in order to like fully comprehend it, which I know nothing about. So the movie probably would make more sense to somebody like that, but like to me, it was just fucking brutal.
Yeah.
And confusing. But awesome, equally awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect Blue is we talked about this.
Yeah, that's an anime movie.
Yeah, it's an anime movie. The entire movie is basically just hallucinations from this woman, so it's kind of hard to tell like what's real and what's not in this movie. So that kind of makes it confusing. I don't even know if you'd consider this one to be, but I kind of do just because of the way that it just the design of the movie, and that's Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Oh yeah,
you can kind of see it.
Yeah, I can. I'll put that as an honorable mention.
There you go.
There you go.
Memento, because of the way that this movie does the chronology.
Yep.
Obviously, probably Irreversible, but I haven't seen that movie yet, so that'd probably be up there too. Old Boy has a lot of twists.
Okay, yeah. Because Mindfuck can be taken in many different ways. Mindfuck could be like a twist that's like, what? Or it could be like a trippy movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have a lot of art house films on my Mindfuck list, but at the same time, I also have one movie that's more of like a twisty movie, and not so much of Mindfuck.
That would be like what Old Boy is. It's a very twisty movie.
Right. It's very twisty.
Okay, this one... Fuck. This one, it's very light on exposition, and I think that the design for some of the scenes would be considered mindfucky, and that's Under the Skin.
Oh yeah. That's pretty mindfucky.
This is probably the godfather of all of those movies. 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah. I have an honorable mention that I just thought of.
Yeah.
The Signal I thought was pretty mindfucky. It's weird.
Yeah.
You know,
that's one of those movies where like you get to the end of the movie before you actually understand what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of a mindfuck. Oh, I got another one too. Predestination.
Shit, dude. Mm-hmm. That movie does not make sense to me. Like it doesn't make sense to me as in like it literally can't happen that way. No fiction, like take fiction out of it.
It's a mindfuck, dude. It's like what?
Yeah, that is totally true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this one might need some explanation.
Okay.
And you probably heard of this movie.
Yes.
Amelie.
Yeah.
It's a rom-com movie. But
yeah.
How can that? But there's so much overload of visual analogies in this film that it is trippy. There's so much. It's just feasting you with all of that information.
That's good. Mitch hates this film.
Yeah, I know. We talked about it briefly when we went to go see Venom. And I was like so amped up when he said that he saw it, and then he was like, "Yeah, I didn't like it." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
But I get it. I totally get it. Discreet Charm of the Bourgeoisie, because that movie disassembles the boundary between fiction and reality and kind of acknowledges that line of existence.
Yeah.
And then I got 3 more. Lost Highway is a David Lynch film. And yeah, that one is confusing as hell, especially like halfway through the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Nobody, which is a movie that I could explain to you in like a paragraph. I can explain like everything that's going on in one paragraph.
Yeah.
But because of like the execution of the movie, it what is the word I'm looking for? Like what's the opposite of simplifies?
It overcomplicates.
Overcomplicates.
Yeah.
The movie, and it really isn't that complicated.
Yeah.
And finally, the first film that I reviewed on YouTube, Zhao Zhao, is with Viggo Mortensen. It is a movie about a guy looking for his daughter in the desert, and that movie is very slow. And I looked up so many things trying to figure out like what people saw in the movie, and none of it was good enough for me, and I have my own explanation for it, and it's something that I'm kind of proud of personally, but it's a very confusing movie.
All right. Oh, fuck, dude. Yo, look at my phone. Can you see that? Can you see like the way to light? Whoa, isn't that crazy?
It just looks like stars.
Yeah. Wow. Okay,
It's
so
trippy, bro, dude. Mind fuck.
trippy, mind boo. All right, dude. So, well, shit. You basically said my whole list, but okay.
Oh shit, dude. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
I'm sure we'll have some surprises. I know.
Man, I doubt it. Should I just go?
Yeah, go for it.
My number 5 is Memento. This is the one that's not like more an art house film. It's just a very twisty film, and the mindfuck nature of it comes from the structure of the film. The fact that it's told backwards, but then there's a subplot that's told forwards, and then they kind of meet in the middle, and then it all starts making sense, and it's crazy, and it's really cool. It's like a noir kind of story. This is Christopher Nolan's second movie, and it's a very, very original way to tell a story. Him and his brother wrote it. This is actually based off of a story that his brother wrote, and it really F's with your mind. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
I did not understand it the first time I saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did understand it, but there's so much more when you go back and watch it with that where you understand the structure more. And it's nuts.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good stuff. Good stuff. My number 5 is probably the most famous short film, maybe Meshes of the Afternoon.
So it's a short film, huh?
Yeah, it came out in like the 40s.
Okay.
It's fucking nuts. It's like 10 minutes long, and I've watched it a few times, and I still don't fully grasp it. It's a surreal film. Like basically, she's taking a nap, and then she starts to see people, like she starts following this person or whatever, and then basically like it just kind of starts resetting every so often, and it's just super weird. And like I think like some of the best parts about it are like how they designed when they didn't really have any resources whatsoever. Some of these scenes, like she has to like climb up the stairs, and like the camera moves and like pushes with her as she's like trying to move up the stairs, and it's like gravity keeps kind of changing on her. It seems like
That's interesting.
It's really cool. I still don't fully grasp it. I don't know if I ever will, and that's kind of neat.
Yeah. Interesting. All right, my next one is Mr. Nobody.
Oh shit!
Yeah, this film is interesting.
I didn't even know if you've seen this movie.
Yeah, I love this film. I only saw it once though, so I should preface that. But I remember it very vividly because what I like about this film is that I don't know if me and you have the same perspective on it, but it's kind of it's a film about choice and how your choices determine your future, and even the smallest minute choice you make, or even like the big choices you make, can affect the smaller choices you make later down in life.
Yeah.
And it kind of shows, it also shows a repetition of life and like a poetry to it. And it's really touching. And it's filmed in such a crazy, bonkers way.
Yes.
But it's great. And I love it. And it expands through different time periods and through different people who fill the same part in this one guy's life. And it shows that this guy who they're like, because he's very old in the beginning of the film, it's like he's being interviewed. It's like, which timeline is the right one, you know, or maybe they're all right some way.
Yeah.
It's a film that asks a lot of questions.
It does. It does.
And they're very existential, very philosophical questions. And
for sure,
if you're not in the mood to have your mind just have a headache from just thinking about life's uncertainty, then you probably shouldn't watch this film.
Yeah, dude, it's art house as fuck.
It is art house as fuck, and it's great.
I do love that movie. My number 4 is Eraserhead. Eraserhead, I watched at like I was in high school for the first time, and I watched it because I heard a dude's head gets cut off and turned into erasers. And I was like, yeah, that's good enough for me. I'm going to watch this.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that it was just a slow, meandering film with the subject of child raising and stuff like that. Like, I didn't hear anything about that because I don't think that the person who recommended it to me even knew about that. But the movie is, it's crazy. It's crazy. And I love it. I think this is one of those movies that, like, since I've seen it so long ago and I've had a lot of time with it, I kind of understand it at this point. But at my first watch, it was boring. I'm just gonna be real with you.
No, yeah, that happens, man. It happens.
And that's my number 4.
All right. My next one you might disagree with, but just hear me out.
That's what I love about this.
Yeah, I put Love as a mindfuck movie because people watch it and they're like, "What the fuck? Civil War? Now he's in space? Wait, where? What? What?" And they're going, "She finds a journal in there from the Civil War. How did that get there? What does that mean?" You know, it's total art house, and they don't know what I've seen people. They're like, "I don't get it." You know, so it's total mindfuck. Especially at the end, he's like, "What the fuck? He's like in a hotel now? What is this?" You know?
That's very 2001.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's this movie is a clear homage to 2001. It's an intentional homage. They don't even hide it.
Yeah.
No, they don't hide it.
For sure.
But they're like, "What? I don't get it." You know, so I could see why people might think this is definitely like what? It explores the need for human connection. That's what this film is about. And it kind of goes through the ancestry of one guy and kind of explores his need for human connection. And there are vignettes throughout the film that explore other people's need for human connection, what human connection means to them. And it's all interesting because in the middle of that, plot A is showing this guy who's stuck in space and he lost all sense of human connection. So he's there alone. So it's all about that. It's about connection and loneliness and the need for people and love. It's about the need for love, really. That's why it's called Love.
For sure.
So, but if you just watch it normally, people are like, "What the fuck is happening? I don't get it."
Yeah.
You know.
Most of these movies, you have to be like in the right mindset.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. These are all like mindset movies.
Mindset movies. For sure. My number 3 is Enemy, dude.
Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot about Enemy.
Dude, forgot about Enemy?
I'll put Enemy as a honorable mention.
Dude, Enemy is so fucking good.
It is.
That is actually the movie that like made me start like seeking out movies like this, and like I had to look it up. Mm-hmm. I did not understand it whatsoever.
Yeah.
I saw it when it first came out, and man, fuck, in like 5 years, like I've come a long way.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat. But yeah, I had to watch Chris Stuckman's
me too.
video.
Me too.
Because I was like, what is this?
Yeah,
like,
me too.
I didn't get this ending. It was so abrupt and stuff like that. But like, I was just so fascinated by it. I had to find out what was going on because I just loved everything about it, even though I didn't get it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a movie about
Jake Gyllenhaal finds his doppelganger, sorta.
Yeah, but it's about infidelity.
Yeah.
Is a big part of it. It's a big theme in the movie, and it's real good. If you haven't seen it, you have to see this movie because it's Denis. It's my favorite director.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
You're number 2.
Number 2, Terrence Malick's Tree of Life. It's so good, dude. It's so good. Terrence Malick is the king of art house cinema, and he explores literally life, the tree of life, not just within the world and the universe, but within a human space, within a family. What does life mean for a circle that's this big and then a circle that's this big? What does that tree of life mean? And it shows the parallel between what life means on a small scale and a grand scale. And that's what's amazing about it. It's crazy. And it tries to make you... This movie is filled. There's a 20-minute segment in this movie that's just nothing but imagery. Yeah. And it's awesome.
It is awesome.
It is fucking awesome.
It's the only scene I've seen through the whole movie.
Yeah. I remember my sister came up to me and she's like, "Yeah, my friend Josh saw Tree of Life. Fucking terrible. There was a 20-minute segment of just imagery." And I'm like, that sounds fucking awesome. I want to watch that. So I did, and I loved it, dude. Because that's what it's about. It's about life on a grand scale is just as important as life on a small scale. And it explores that literally, I'm saying literally, through the tiniest microbe of human existence to the grandest scale of the universe. You see an up close look. Obviously, it's like CG, but it's an up close look at like bacteria, and then it shows you the universe. And the special effects, both practical and digital, are amazing. Mm-hmm. A lot of them were done by Douglas Trumbull, who did the special effects for 2001: A Space Odyssey. And it shows just the significance and the parallels between, like, sperm meeting egg and then, like, a planet colliding with another planet to create a solar system or something like that.
Like, holy shit.
It's crazy. It's
those comparisons and parallels, dude.
It's nuts, dude. It's nuts because you see a bacteria and it looks like the universe, you know. But then you see the actual universe and you're like, what the? And then it cuts to like dinosaurs, and then it cuts to Brad Pitt and Jessica Chastain as a family, and it also chronicles their son growing up, and that's what it's about. It's also about this kid growing up, and then Sean Penn plays the adult version of that kid. Dude.
Transformation, man.
It's transformation. That's what it's about, and it's crazy.
Yeah, fuck me.
It's his masterpiece. It's his masterpiece.
This is exactly how a filmmaker's supposed to be. They're supposed to, like, make their best films in their later years.
Yeah.
Like, that's how it should be.
Yeah.
And this man's been working at it for so long. I mean, like, Days of Heaven came out in, like, the 70s.
Yeah, and I cannot wait for his newest film. It's supposed to come out in 2019. But I don't know.
Yeah, I'll definitely be there.
Oh, yeah, me too.
My number 2 is Mulholland Drive.
Mm-hmm.
Mulholland Drive. Okay. When I first saw this movie, I did understand it pretty well.
Okay.
Even though there's like a segment in this film, like the entirety of this film was pretty easy to follow because actually it was supposed to be a TV show.
Okay.
It was supposed to be like another Twin Peaks or whatever. And so it started out as like a pilot, and then he kind of started adding to it and stuff like that. And I'm like, this is kind of simple. Like, what do people like not get into this movie?
Yeah.
And then there's one scene in particular where it's full-blown David Lynch, and I'm like, this is exactly what this film has been missing.
Okay.
And then that happens, and then everything changes. Everything is fucking topsy-turvy at that point.
Damn. Okay.
And like, I was like, wait, what? Like, I was able to follow this up until this point. Like, what the fuck happened?
Mm-hmm.
And then I took me a little bit to understand that, but there's still something about this movie. There's still segments about this film, just scenes.
Yeah.
And objects that are in the film I'll never understand. I'll never understand their existence, and that's fine with me.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, it's kind of neat. This is something that I love so much about his style of films, is because I can learn so much about life, and like I can apply those experiences to film, and yeah, I can apply anything I want to this film, and I don't think that I would comprehend it.
Damn. Okay.
It's just because he makes something, he takes parts of himself and puts it in there.
That's what he does.
Yeah.
That's what he does. By the way, sorry, but I was looking this up because I was curious if there was any word on Terrence Malick's new film, which he renamed A Hidden Life. Yeah, there's a poster right here, and it comes out December 13th.
Damn.
Yeah, and it was actually nominated for the Palme d'Or.
Ooh.
Didn't win. I think it went to Bong Joon-ho.
Yeah.
And there's a consensus on Rotten Tomatoes right now if you want to read it.
What do you got?
It says, ambitious and visually absorbing, A Hidden Life may prove inscrutable to non-devotees, but for viewers of Malick's wavelength, it should only further confirm his genius.
That's exactly what you wanted, probably.
Yes.
That's your second tree of life right there.
100%. I'm freaking ready.
That's exciting.
Ready.
It's very exciting.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, my number 1. It's 2001: Space Odyssey, bro.
Of
course.
I knew it, man.
It's the biggest mindfuck movie ever.
It is.
I'm like, what the fuck? It's like 4 hours long, and it's
it's like 4 hours. It's like 2.5.
Yeah, it to me that's like 4 hours. No, and it goes from the beginning of time to the end of time, and it's freaking crazy. This is what Love was a tribute to. This is what a lot of space and especially sci-fi kind of art house films are based off of. Even Under the Skin has homages to this film.
That Tree of Life scene is also...
Tree of Life.
Yeah, tribute.
All these films have tributes to this film. This is the film that is the mecca for mindfuck films.
They owe it all.
They owe it all to this film. And the themes that this film explores is too deep to even get into. So I don't even know how to get into it. So I won't. All I'll say is if you have 2.5 hours of slow burn, methodical, sci-fi drama to kill that will eventually make you say, what the fuck was that? Watch 2001: A Space Odyssey.
True. True, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. This is gonna be a total like what? Like I didn't see this coming at all. And that's why I like it, because this list is a mind fuck, bro. My number 1 is Primer.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about this film.
Primer is so... okay, maybe it's just because Shane Carruth, like, as a storyteller, wasn't, like, developed. He really wasn't a filmmaker.
No, he was just, like, a scientist, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's, like, a fucking engineer.
Yeah.
And, like, this is, like, his movie where he's like, you know what? I've seen a lot of time travel movies, but let me show you how it would actually go. And that's what this movie is. Yeah. It's, like, an independent film about these two guys who develop a time machine, and then they have, like, a process of how they want to use it. They're like, well, we're gonna stay in like this hotel during this period where we're going to use it or whatever. We're not going to use it. Basically, they're using it just to say that they can do it. Because there's really no purpose of it. But of course, if you're human, you know things. You're like you think you could save lives. That's going to change your mind on how you're gonna you're gonna use it. That's just a human way of dealing with it. Yeah. And it's like, I'm going to be honest, like, maybe it's just because of, like, how sloppy it seems like the storytelling is, or maybe it's just so, like, methodical that it's just so confusing. Yeah. I still don't get... I've, like, watched a diagram of, like, how it goes and stuff like that, and it still doesn't make fucking sense to me.
Yeah, see, I've never seen Primer, but I know a lot about Primer because literally I Googled mindfuck films. This was the first film that popped up.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was. This is on everyone's list of most confusing films, craziest films. Oh, yeah, seriously, look it up. Look up most mindfuck films.
There's a list that I used for this because actually I didn't even know what to call this list before I saw it. I think it was like a Taste of Cinema or something like that. Oh yeah.
Well, the thing is, I've been meaning to watch Primer, but I can't find it anywhere.
Yeah, it used to be on Netflix.
Yeah, but it's not there anymore. I can't find it anywhere. But I have watched breakdowns, and it's a lot harder to understand because I haven't watched the film. But I have watched breakdowns of the film just because I was just so curious about the confusing nature of the film. Dude, it's insane.
Even if you watch the movie, it's not going to make that much more sense to you.
Yeah, because don't they go back in time, but then they build a time machine and then bring that time machine back in time with them so they can go back in time again?
Yes.
And then
yes, but like also it doesn't help that the chronology isn't in order.
Oh my god.
It's fucked, dude. I mean, but that's the thing, how can you tell a story chronologically with time travel like that when it's that complicated? Yeah. Yeah, so it's fucky, dude.
So time travel in general is just asking for trouble when you deal with it.
And that's why it's so easy to have a movie that's like Back to the Future where it just wants to simplify it for the viewer just so they don't have a headache. Yeah. And that this movie doesn't want to do that. That's like the whole like goal of the film. Yeah. And
it's to show you what time travel would really be like.
Yeah, and these people are just way smarter than me. So like of course like it's not for a mortal man like myself, it's just not going to do anything.
Does changing your past change your future in Primer or no?
Do watch the movie?
Well, because it's interesting. Because that's a lot of new physicists now. Like that was an end game apparently. They brought in physicists and that's what they said. They're like, no, that's not how it works. Yeah, because your past then becomes your future.
Yeah, that's basically I think how everyone he explains it or whatever. That's anybody that's smarter than I am explains it.
Right. I'm curious. He's made like another film, right?
Yeah, Upstream Color. Yeah, it's supposed to be really good. And like this film, like wasn't very like he didn't understand film. I don't think back then. So it was an honest effort. Yeah. But it got apparently got so much better with Upstream Color.
Oh, nice. I'll have to watch it then. What other movies has he done? I'm just curious.
I think he did.
That's
one
pretty much
that came out pretty recently.
No, just those are the two movies he's directed. Yeah, he did direct an episode of Breakthrough. Which is a scientific documentary television series. Yep. Yeah. Wow, he was in Swiss Army Man as the coroner, in a cameo.
Really?
Yeah.
Crazy, dude.
Yeah. That's weird. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's mindfuck movies, man.
Mindfuck on movies. Oh boy.
Hit the list. And yeah, dude. So this is gonna be interesting because we have something kind of planned right now for our 50th episode, and that's gonna be like, I feel like that's gonna be the end all be all list for us.
Pretty much, yeah.
So
I'm
we're
pretty
gonna
sure
have to
after the 50th episode we might not
do lists anymore. What's the point? I mean,
yeah,
because you would have known like pretty much everything that we would say.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, these next several they've got to be like big ones, and they've got to be something that's like kind of different.
Mm-hmm.
So we can start talking about some new stuff. So it's
Hell
gonna
yeah.
be interesting.
It's gonna be nuts.
It is gonna be nuts.
It's gonna be nuts.
And yeah, so I can't wait for our 50th episode. I'm like super excited for it.
Yeah, it's gonna be nuts. And then after that, there's big things coming to this podcast, baby.
There's gonna be big things, but we don't even know what they are yet.
Not yet, but they're coming. We know what one of them is.
We know what one of them is.
So, all right. Woo! So we saw Spider-Man.
Yep.
Good movie. You know one thing. One thing I do like that they kind of showed a little bit more of Uncle Ben, a little bit with those initials on his briefcase. I'm like sick, but I still wish that his famous quote was in there. You know what I mean? So just hear me out. With great power comes great responsibility.
I kept thinking to myself, I'm like, where are we gonna put that? Where are we gonna put that? I knew exactly what line was coming.
Yeah. At first it was gonna be like, with great power comes great but I'm like, responsibility was like actually pretty good.
Yeah, you gotta get those syllables in there.
That's right.